See, there are a couple of moments that if your characters do something very, very dumb, they may just be completely and utterly one hit wiped out, right?
Mm.
That's
Um,
fair.
if that happens early on,
Mm.
I'll give you a dragon or something to play with. I'm not just going
Mm.
to exclude you. Um, but just thought I'd warn you, it'll be obvious that it'll be a dumb decision. I will wave my arms frantically, but I'm not going to stop someone from doing it if it feels fitting for you.
So in other words, if we fuck up, we're getting rewarded with a dragon.
I want to be a
Yes.
dragon.
I was gonna say you're not worth the risk versus reward here.
I'm
No.
actually pretty sure that you guys are more powerful than the dragons I'm going to give you at this point.
Fair point, but dragon.
I'm Maddie.
Whenever it happens, if I am dumb enough to do this decision, can I then smash someone in the head with my stick and make it explode in the process too?
We'll see at the time.
Shove it
What,
in
are you
the
gonna hand
head.
us one of us? If we are done, you're taking us with you?
I will take a lot of people with me. It's fully charged as 400 damage.
Okay, so our little Tarnstead party. The camera zooms out from your perspective, up into the sky, and as it scales back across the land and across the ocean, you see a little counter in the corner, counting back the years as we go back in time. Um, to the
Many
north
times.
of the continent that you're also familiar with, a fleet of Hexen-like Imperial airships are crossing the ocean right now. Below, a few fast sea vessels accompany them, carrying land forces. You all have been summoned onto the largest airship of the fleet to report to a top brass meeting. Um, you are ferried over, but for various means. Most of you are flight capable yourself. Those that are not get a ride on young dragons and such things. And as you are winding your ways down through the decks, I'd like you all to describe yourselves. We will start with Eliza.
Eliza is about 5'6". She has chestnut brown hair that is starting to gray. She wears very thick glasses. She is basically carting around the largest pile of books that you have seen leathered together. And every once in a while, she's yelling back at one of the servants that she has apparently brought with her that is carrying even more of her books. She is wearing a large set of very comfy robes, and as you see her go by in her large set of comfy robes, her staff swung over her back on a little bit of a holder. You see her also come around the corner, and there is another of the exact same, maybe twins, that comes around, also yelling at another servant to be careful with those books. As she comes around the corner. She has the most striking golden eyes that you have seen. But she looks like she's probably in her mid-50s. She's a fairly old human at this age. For, I guess, the setting. I don't know how long we live, but she's getting up in years. She's a little bit more wizened looking, but she seems distracted by the care of her books.
Okay. Moving on to Garibaldi.
Major Carl Garibaldi is a older gentleman. He is graying, and he has that look of someone who has seen way too much shit in his life. He is still considered handsome by some, but a lot of officers kind of scoff at him, especially the ground troops, as he is not a noble. He is a commoner, actually from a serf family, who has managed to claw and drag his way up the chain of command. He is also one of the best snipers in the Hexenrite especially in the gun mages.
Okay. Captain Wolf.
Captain Gunther Wolf is probably in his mid to late 30s, 5'8", very quiet, but very tactically minded. He has spent his time pretty much all in military service. His family's military service. Started out first as Rangers and Scouts, but have been incorporated within the Hector military. He is not too keen on being one of his superiors' primary traits is being a sniper, an elite sniper, is that. Wolf is very thorough, though. He makes sure that if something gets shot by him, it goes down regardless. Silence or tap. As long as it goes down, it goes. He doesn't wear much, but robe, standard military uniform, some intricate bracers on his forearms, almost kind of melded into his clothing, and then just a bit of a raincoat, mantle, just draped over one.
Okay. Those three. You make your way in on your own. You are basically respected enough and high up enough that you would be attending this meeting no matter what. There's no special request or such. It's just you are expected here. On the other hand, Lieutenant Hedigan. How do you pronounce your name, Becky? Did you look this up?
I actually have the thing, so I need to hit buttons.
Holishin.
Heligan.
Heligan? Okay.
Yep.
All right, Lieutenant Heligan. You have actually been detached from a ground unit you were supporting and requested here at the request of someone you know very well. Ferrofinax has asked for you to help in a personal matter, and apparently that means attending this very high up meeting, which is a little scary, as everyone you see is wearing ranking marks that quite a bit higher than yours, and seem very fancy and important. You are escorted by a gentleman into the briefing room. Would you describe yourself?
He is about 5'10", almost supernaturally beautiful. Unlike a human, unfortunately, he has a pair of ram's horns, cat-like golden eyes, and a thin tail you would expect to be in a demon, and casts no shadow. He has standard lieutenant's uniform on and has a staff across his back and a wand on his hip.
Upon his arrival, one of the Elizas has to elbow the other Eliza to get them to stop staring and being like,
Noticing a trend of Blackie's characters in this game.
Yes.
As a note for those, this character is a 22 charisma.
Fuck.
Okay.
Sure.
Ritter Blazebreaker, you are accompanying your Knight Commander as his champion. You are expected to be by his side at important functions, and this includes this one. The older gentleman who always treats you rather jovially. He's familiar with you. Walks into the briefing room with you beside him. Would you describe yourselves?
Hemir Blazebreaker sits at, about average dwarven height. He has a long beard braided together with various metal finery on it, and a long ponytail braided as well to keep it out of the way. His armor seems to be draped over a set of what almost look like grayed but once blue mage robes. And upon his shoulders is etched with a symbol of a hammer with a frost symbol behind it. And he seems to be quite jovial and smiling and laughing, as is his way.
Okay. And finally, Veil of Shadows. You were more told you'd be attending this than requested. And you are not left to roam on your own. You are escorted by two gentlemen towards the briefing room. Would you describe yourself?
Yes, I'm a fairly quiet, twitchy, cat-like creature. I'm in somewhat fanciful, dark colors. I would blend in if it weren't for the fact that it's really obvious that black doesn't really blend into everything around me. Very twitchy looking around quite a bit, but staying quiet.
I was briefly hoping you would describe yourself as invisible.
Well, if I'm being escorted, just beyond
I'd like to point out, two poor son of a bitches got stuck herding an actual cat for this.
Indeed.
It was like, no, go this way, go, no.
Oh yes, and I'm playing with a ball of yarn in my hand.
Wow. Stereotypes. Okay. Okay. You will filter into the room over some time, and it takes longer still for other various important captains, majors to make their way in. But not before long, though, you see a familiar face, well known amongst the military. General Becker.
Did we just level up?
Is yes. Congratulations, they're all level 18 now. Quick hurry, level up.
Oh, I'm good.
General Becker. He is a man in his 50s, short cropped white hair. He is very well known for not being a behind the scenes officer. The horrendous scar down the left side of his face and the missing eye attest to some of the exploits he's had on the battlefield. He has a very, very thin moustache that is curled at the tips, and he gives a few people a curt nod as he walks in, familiar faces, which will probably include most of you. And beside him walks she seems like a somewhat 30-ish-year-old woman with white hair, very well-kept clothes on her, carrying a staff. And oh my god, German names. I'm trying to remember which goes as which. Blackie. It's a familiar visage to you. And actually to Eliza as well. It is Ferrofinax. You know her as a adult white dragon, a magical researcher, much like you, Usglas. And your little savior, Halligan. And I will show everybody what she looks like. Ta-da! I hope that pops up.
Yep.
Oh, she's pretty.
Ooh.
I kept hoping my hair would do that as I got older, but really it's just doing pepper and salt. It's not quite.
Okay. The general moves up behind what is a table with what is a familiar array of little representations of various forces. It's a very crude map of the northern coastline of the kingdom you know you're heading towards, the Noran kingdom. And he waits for the crowd to quiet down before saying, "So, I'm sure you're all wondering what this is about. Called off the front lines of your various theatres and told to muster for a very rushed operation. It's bewildering, yes?" And he looks around at your faces. And he squints a little at you, Blackie, as if not entirely sure who you are or what you're doing here. before Ferrophanax nudges him. Ah, right, yes. Yes, well, do any of you know of Alasnafar? No. And I would like some history checks from people for that.
Nope.
Nope.
Advantage for you, Sammy.
Oh, I was just gonna
Oh,
roll
I didn't need
twice.
Well, you can also do that, but no.
Oh, okay. I
You
was,
both know the same shit. You don't get a roll twice.
I was just gonna say one of us paying better attention.
Okay. 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay. Veil of Shadows and Blazebreaker. You've heard the name. You know it's some bigwig dragon in the capital. Probably one of those R&D types. There's so many of those. For Garibaldi. You've heard of him. You know he is a black dragon and does artifact research. Usglass.
Hmm.
You are not only know this man, you're very familiar with him. He has, in fact, talked with you a few times, giving a little bit of advice. Just he seems to enjoy the work. He seems to enjoy hearing about theory. It's just a bit of a passion of his. And you are very aware that he was very, very close with Ferrophanax.
All right. Well, since he's asking, both of me's raising a hand.
The general looks at you, gives a wry smile, and goes, "The question does not need a reply."
Damn it.
But as you have volunteered, would you care to inform everyone else of who he is?
This is gonna be really confusing because it's basically gonna be alternating every other word between the two characters. Because I'm a dick, but I'm
I
not
want a
actually gonna
performance
do
check.
that, right?
I want a performance check.
Oh damn it!
You got no interest in properly does it, so this is rehearsed.
All right, I'm not doing that.
Are you sure?
Can I have both answer at the same time though?
Yes.
Okay, both are answering at the same time. Luckily,
It's even worse.
He is a black dragon that works
Also,
as
I will do a Bamzo.
a researcher on artifacts. He works very closely with Verthanax. They're both magical researchers. I believe he is one of the oldest blacks we have working with us.
Yeah, that's correct.
He has amazingly beautiful eyes, and he's got rugged good looks, and he could be King Richard if this was Gallivant.
You see the general's eyebrow raise at the beautiful eyes. Ferrophanax just nods. Indeed. What you are going to be told here is not to leave this room. You all know the penalty of leaking such information, I trust. Ferrophanax, if you will. And Ferrophanax nods and steps forward. Alison, oh man, why did I choose such a fucking name?
I don't know, you did this to yourself.
She's going to use his her pet name for him. Alasna was he has spent the last 70 years or so researching a certain set of artifacts recovered in Miscan region. Previous attempts to understand the writing on these artifacts has not gone well. Some of the more mortal researchers have suffered ill fates, and those that have tried to decipher the writings using magic, language comprehension spells, tend to lose their minds. So he has been taking it slowly and bit by bit. unfortunately, and she looks upset by this, as if it's a bit of a betrayal of what she knew about him. Unfortunately, it seems for the past few years he has been in contact with some people in Noran, sharing information. We have found notes and ciphers in his quarters. And last month he went missing, and we believe he has defected. Not only was he working on that, he has a vast wealth of knowledge as to certain magical artifacts and defenses that our nation possesses. So you understand his defection is not something that can be allowed to stand. And she grimaces a little bit. We, as often is the matter for the nation's security, we had a team of diviners look into the possible future to see what the consequences of his defection are. And Usglas, you have heard rumor about this. In fact, you would be the only one in a position to do so. So it's no shock to you when you hear her say, well, perhaps a bit of a shock that it's true, but it's not completely out of the blue. When the diviners, there were 5 of them, looked into the future, 2 of them instantly took their own lives, slit their own throats. Another 2 are currently gibbering wrecks, being cared for by our doctors. And the 3rd was able to scrawl a report on the walls in his own blood before he too died.
That's certainly a hell of a way to say bad, eh?
Indeed. Well, the details of this report, I'm afraid, are above all of your pay grades. The result is the same. We must secure Asna at all costs. We believe he has fled to the Noran Kingdom. We believe he is likely in their capital. And thus, we find ourselves here. I'm sure some of you have some grievances. We have never had a conflict with Noran. In fact, they have been quite peaceful trade neighbors across the seas. But needs must. The security of Hexenreich is of utmost importance. And she steps back.
The Major raises his hand.
Oh, yes?
Simple question. Is this a capture or terminate mission?
She hesitates herself to answer that, and the general steps back forward instead. Capture is preferable, but if he resists, you are free to terminate. But please do try to obtain him. We wish to know exactly what he has shared.
Second question.
Yes?
The artifact, is a primary objective as well, to recover that along with our defector?
He actually shakes his head. Asnafano took nothing with him except what he has in his mind. We still have possession of the artifacts.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Do we know anything of who he is primarily working with? Who those people may be?
Unfortunately, the correspondence we have been able to decipher seems to be using code names. However, judging by the quality of the writing, the ink and such, we do believe it is a highborn person, thus our suspicions of the capital. So, he sighs. On to your objectives. We will be launching an assault on a coastal town. We will be securing that as our landing point for the ground forces. And then each of you will have your individual assignments. And a few aides start to go around handing little folded pieces of paper to various other officers in the room. And he actually waves Garibaldi, Wolf, over. And Ferrofanax actually beckons you, Usglas, and Heiligen. Blazebreaker, you are actually just given one of these little paper missives. Well, your Knight Commander is. And Fellow Shadows, you are just kept in place for now.
Down, Giddy.
I'm fidgeting with the ball of yarn at the moment.
The Knight Commander shares his little missive with you, Blazebreaker. The human gentleman having to lean down a little bit so you can read it. And it is basically just a set of directives of how you're going to be leading the primary ground assault towards the capital.
Right where I was hoping I'd be.
What the fuck did you just say?
He said,
He said,
I
as he
right
was
where I was
hoping to be.
hoping I'd be.
Well, as everyone kindly replied at once, I still don't understand. Goddamn chorus.
He's happy.
Voices.
I
Yeah,
said,
okay.
I right where I was hoping to be.
Good. Okay. He grins a little bit and goes, "Yeah, in the thick of it, just where we belong."
Damn right, mate.
And let's see. Garibaldi and Wolf. General smiles as you approach, and he actually reaches a hand out to shake each of yours in turn. You've met him quite a few times, and he has actually he's probably personally given you a few of the medals you have. And as he shakes each of your hands,
Garibaldi's plate armor of metals.
yeah, he clasps your hand, claps you on the shoulder. Goes, okay, friends. Only the finest duties for some of my most trusted. Wolf,
Sir.
you will be escorting, and he motions his head back towards the woman you know as a white dragon, and the two seeming mages that have moved over to her. You will be escorting them. Your job is to keep them safe.
Understood.
You go where she asks, you do what she does. Her safety is of the utmost priority. However, we are giving her a chance to find and talk to Rasnafanano. But she has a fondness for him. And, well, keep in mind that Hexenreich comes first, yes?
Wolf at that will step up nearly sort of parallel with the general's face, like side of his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how concerned is that?
I do not believe she would deliberately betray us, but her feelings may compromise the mission. If she tries to protect him, try not to harm her too badly, but do what must be done, yes?
Will do.
He gives you a grim smile and sort of pats you on the shoulder before glancing at you, Garibaldi. Garibaldi, my man. I went to your force. Still the speedy bunch, I'm hoping.
Oh yeah, I have a couple privates who I believe once I'm retired out will bring the force to an even higher standard.
Oh, glad to hear it. I want you scouring this land for any sign or sight of Alasnafano. Well, we think he may be in the capital. It's no guarantee, and I trust you to weed out where he is. And you're going to have a little help with that. And he points over towards the tabaxi that is being sort of kept off to the side of the room right now. That one is going to be an asset for you.
civilian contractor?
No, not quite. One of our tools. Everyone here will know Hexenreich is not a particularly diverse nation, and it is not as well thinking about the rights of other species as some of the other kingdoms in this land. The Tabaxi in general are seen as better than beasts, but not by much.
He's suddenly now fidgeting with a flute. Sorry, a pan flute.
He is skilled enough. Quite skilled for his kind.
Does he know how to operate any flight equipment, or can he fly himself?
He has his methods. He is being equipped.
Excellent.
I was hoping for is he housebroken? But
Okay. Well, these are your directives. You will also be responding to any orders that are given in battle. If we need you somewhere, we will direct you there. But these are your primary objectives.
And if I happen to find our wayward friend first?
Report. Do not approach.
Wolf
If you find them, Wolf will escort Ferrofinax to you.
Wolf at this point will also turn and look at the lieutenant still at the table. And what of him?
The lieutenant, who is now off to the side somewhat, with
He's over with
Usglas and
Eliza.
Ferrofinax. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. As you look over, it was a personal request from dear Ferrofinax. I do not know much about him myself, but she seems to trust him and believes in his capabilities.
Wolf's shoulders kind of slump a bit. One being, I thought, fuck, I had to deal with this thing too, but also another complication.
Mm-hmm.
I believe him and Usglas there, one of our lovely researchers who is responsible for your safety, so treat her with respect. He says, tapping the computational jewels on your chests. I believe they will be traveling with Ferrofinax, so they will be under your charge.
Understood.
Okay. He nods and sort of waves you off as if he knows you know how to go and address your men and so on. He doesn't have to do the whole ordering.
I snap a salute to the general.
Yes, it's very smart. Off you go.
And then I turn, as I walk away, I lean over to Wolf. I'm like, we got this. I've heard of you. This is easy. This is cakewalk. This is what we do. Don't worry about it. And I reach out to shake Wolf's hand.
Wolf will go in and do more of the warrior shake.
They grab the forearms.
Forearm, yeah.
Anyways, good luck, good hunting, and if you need me, give me a call.
As
Sir.
you move past the shadows, Garibaldi, the general sort of snaps his fingers at the aides escorting him, and they release him into your charge.
I stop and look at the young tabaxi. You have been assigned to me. Come on, let's go. We don't have a lot of time.
Ooh, goody.
That's not unsettling at all.
This is why he's escorted everywhere.
Sorry about.
And as I step out of sight of the higher-ups, I'm like, I'm Major Garibaldi, and I reach out to shake the tabaxi's hands. Your name is Veil of Shadows?
I reach out to shake his hand, but I have a pan flute in one hand, and I'm still playing with the small ball of yarn in the other hand.
So do you hand him the ball of yarn?
So I look up, look down, put
Don't
one
worry about it.
hand towards my pocket, and accidentally pull out a rapier after putting away the pan flute.
This is why he was escorted.
Look
Oh,
at my
God.
hand for a second
So much
there.
spaghetti.
Look at the other hand. Put the ball of yarn away and pull out another rapier.
I can see why they had aids on you. Come on. We'll get you introduced to the unit, and then we'll get everyone set up and move out.
Kitty got
Not-
claws.
All right.
Captain,
Meanwhile,
or-
while that interchange was going on, Eliza basically like moved up behind the lieutenant, and Eliza also moved up behind the lieutenant. And every once in a while, the two Elizas eyebrow waggle at each other while looking at the lieutenant when he's not looking, because she's a dirty old biddy.
Speaking of which, as Heideggen and Osglas move over to Ferrifinax.
Yeah.
She smiles fondly at Heideggen, and despite this ever so official meeting, is making no attempt to disguise her affection. She actually pulls him into an embrace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Eliza does that
my
little
God,
bit of a
Blackie,
snap
what was his
of
first
damn
name?
taken.
Mine?
Yes.
It literally is hellish in German.
Well, she's going to smile at you and go, "My little demon, how are you doing?"
Hellish is how you pronounce it.
No, you got a nickname.
Okay.
My little
Say
demon,
again.
how are you doing?
Doing okay, ma'am.
You're keeping yourself fed?
Yes.
Is treating you too roughly, I hope?
Nope. I've been keeping them. I've been keeping them in one piece.
I'm so sorry to pull you away from your unit, but I know you're so capable, and as she's saying this, she is sort of fussing over your clothes, adjusting them, trying to make you look a bit smarter.
Mhm.
And, I wanted a familiar face. Yes. Eliza, and, it's been a while since I last saw you. She's looking between the two of you.
Which one?
I had
is
a
the real
breakthrough.
one?
I've been
Which-
waiting to talk to you about it. Isn't it great? And they don't say that at the same time.
That's what duplication research you were working on.
Yeah, it
going
completely
on?
works. We can both cast all the same spells. We both cast all the same spells.
Without drawing from the same source.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that is quite a breakthrough. You're going to be publishing this research, I hope.
Oh yeah, it's in my notes. I don't know where my research went. They took my books.
Yes, they would. Well, I would look forward to reading it.
I'm gonna kind of scoot behind the dragon a little bit.
Oh, don't be shy. But look, she's very lovely. She is a colleague and a very respected one.
There's two of her.
Yes, they're both the same person, though, dear.
They're both gonna kind of smile, and there's gonna go,
Okay.
well, if this works right, there's gonna be a whole lot more of me on the battlefield.
What a thought. How do you feel about being pulled away from your research for glory and war?
Horrific! This is really not how I was supposed to be spending this week.
It's quite. Well,
But I guess with what's going on, we'll bring him back.
Yes, I saw you were being called up for war anyway, and I figured another familiar face would be nice, you know?
I appreciate being in your service.
Yes. He respected you very, very strongly. We talked about you many times.
She nods. He was a man worth respecting. Is a man worth respecting. I'm sure
Yes.
we'll put this all behind us very quickly.
She smiles not so confidently, but she nods. I hope so as well. Right, you
So,
are going to be
you
with me
two-
on this wonderful journey?
You two know each other? Should I?
Oh, yes. I found this little urchin on the streets, and I just looked at him, and I could see the potential.
Oh. Well, you are a very blessed boy.
I am.
If he needs any gear outfitting, I'm sure they've probably got extras of my. Well, of all of our different things. I mean, keep him safe.
Well, have you been outfitted, my dear? And she says, sort of like grabbing your shoulders and pushing you ever so slightly away, just to be able to look you over better.
Ma'am. They've been treating me very well.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, I'm not entirely sure how these things normally go. Not entirely used to being out on the front myself, but I expect we'll be told where to go soon enough. Maybe you can give us a little heads up on what to expect. Halligan.
Wolf is approaching at this point. And
Oh.
he will come up, do the boot snap together. Varofanakis, Ersklas, Lieutenant.
Captain Wolf. Yes, that's your name.
Yes,
I'm informed you're going to be our escort.
that is correct, madam.
Grand. Well, these are my dear, trusted compatriots. Have you
give a
met
slight
each
bow.
other?
I believe this is my first time in the presence, dear sir.
Agreed. I have heard of your tapping the computation gem. Your advances and our benefits.
It's always a group effort.
I have not met the captain.
Have you read any of our papers?
No, I cannot say that I have.
Oh, you're missing out. The latest publication is just amazing. The relationship between abjuration magic and enchantment magic that was published. I mean, it was just over the moon. I could not put it down.
He's intently looking at her, or both of them, but his
glazing over.
It's kind of glazing over, but he is still listening. It's not like he's being aloof about it.
He's being polite.
Yeah.
But doesn't understand a word.
And trust me, new innovations are coming soon. I can tell you there's a great treasure trove of things coming out of the workshop.
One of the glasses gets a hand on their shoulder as Ferrophanax leans in and goes, I believe you're confusing the poor, Captain.
Oh.
Remember, these rifle they're not as adept.
Oh. I'm sorry, I forget. I don't get out to the tower that often. You know that.
Lieutenant.
Yes, sir.
I am not familiar with your attributes in regards to the military at this present time. Could you enlighten me on that?
I am a specialist.
Internal monologue.
to
Both
my,
his muscles are going. Yeah, he's special.
my magic, I am able to both combat and also heal.
Oh, that's an interesting mix. Do you travel with the arcane or divine or some sort of mix?
I guess I understand it's from my ancestry.
Oh, a sorcerer! Oh, and she's kind of gonna give that look over to Fairfanax and like, I see.
Yes, she smiles proudly. This is my sweet little infernal boy. Quite powerful magic running through his veins. I tried to show him books and magical formula, but none of it seemed to stick. But she sort of gestures as if snapping her fingers, does stuff.
Oh, I would love to compare notes later. The amazing things that sorcerers can do. It's just not enough documentation about it.
I can try to assist.
He's looking between the three of them. Is like
I basically have lost interest in the actual mission right now.
There is and you'll look over to see the general with what appears to be a lot of other now much higher ranking officers, generals, brigadiers, and such. And he sort of gestures towards the door where he expected you to have gone.
Oh,
a little while ago.
Maybe.
All right, one Eliza on each arm. You're gonna get let out, Lieutenant.
I'm gonna shoot off whatever the hell I can't even think of the word. Salute.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Salute.
Yeah.
We should be going.
Yeah, the salute is a little clumsy, thanks to the fact that both your arms are now occupied.
Yep.
Yes.
Ferrophonex gives a sort of bow of her head towards the general and puts a hand on your shoulder.
Now, the last
Captain Wolf.
time, I'm basically going to side you as I'm walking. Now, the
Off we
last time
go.
I talked to a sorcerer about
Of
this,
course.
it was kind of like trying to explain
As
the sense
they
of
walk
smell
out and
to a fish.
Verifnaxis goes ahead, Wolf will lag behind them, just taking up the rear of the group. Burn,
Are you
snap his
capable
heels,
of?
and just look at the general as like, "Thank you, sir," and then walk out.
Are you capable of any form of independent flight, or do we need to get you something?
No, I'm. After when are we in the? Once we leave the room, are we in the hallway?
You are below deck still. Yeah, but
Oh,
you
that
are in a
reminds
wide
me,
hallway.
Ferrophrex. I have another spell that
Um,
I am very excited for you to see. I hope you won't find it too upsetting.
I can do this, and he grows angel wings.
Oh! Slow clap.
Just a note on Hexenreich building. While the boonies and such little towns tend to be still on somewhat average size, in the capital, everything is built very, very large.
For dragons.
Doorways, hallways, because of the dragon citizenship. They are expected to be able to go about in their natural form. Military structures, and especially ships, not quite so big. Obviously, they cannot have an ancient or an adult dragon walking in the hallways of a airship. But some of the younger types that can't actually take on a humanoid form yet are still accommodated. So the hallways are wide and high.
Oh god, I'm just imagining like young dragon, kind of like a toddler, like, not even walking straight down the halls of an airship.
And in fact, all of you, as you traverse this airship, every now and then you will have to sort of press up against the side of a wall as a young dragon goes by in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
We
will definitely have to get together. I would love to talk notes with you, Lieutenant, after this is over. I think we could have a really nice... We could have a picnic or just talk shop. It'll be amazing.
As long as I'm not reassigned to my unit right away.
Oh, well I'll make a request.
As we walk out, Amir's going to jab his Knight Commander. Go, I bet if you ask really nicely, that dragon will hug you like... and just give me a wry smile.
Yeah. To be dreaming of being held in the embrace of such a fine creature.
Oh, but she's your type. About 40 feet tall.
Yes, but well, I know you like the larger type. You don't have much choice, really, do you? He says, looking down at you with a grin.
Well, it's at our halflings, and let's face it.
Not quite robust enough. Right, let's get back down to the boat. He says, he does not like flying. He does not enjoy the trip up and down on the stupid flying contraptions that his nation has adopted. But he's going to start heading towards the landing deck with you.
Let's get you back to the underground before you get real cranky about it.
At least we can be closer to the ground, not too fond of the ocean either.
Oh, come on, you don't like going for a swim in full plate?
Listen, you have seen the amount of times I've nearly drowned in these bloody crusades.
I told you just need to learn ice magic, mate.
Not all of us are quite as gifted as you.
Half only.
Really, you do have Morganai's blessing, both divine power and arcane. Morganai being the dragon goddess of magic that Hexenreich worships primarily.
Best part, there's two of us, technically.
Alright. So he will head to the landing deck, and you head down on your own personal mount, and he takes one that is just in possession of the army itself, and you're able to rejoin your main force. You have a contingent of knights that he leads, but there is a sort of unspoken understanding that you are the banner that people rally to. You also, along with these knights, you are in command of around 40 odd just men at arms, not quite as heavily armed and armored, but they have their own pikes, halberds, and they are your little support force. And-
Technical question, Ali.
Yes,
How many rounds do we actually get?
as in ammo.
Yeah.
Don't bother tracking it.
Okay.
Because of resupplying and all this shit, you're infinite.
Okay.
You can shoot
You're
until
back.
it's dead.
Your
Yeah.
bag of holding
Six shot
is full.
reload is all. All right.
Bag of
Just
holding
keep
is
track
full.
if you reload.
Your bag of holding is full.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fair enough.
Technically,
Yeah.
my bag of holding is full. See if I ever pull a pistol out.
All the ball bearings in mine.
And as he goes about distributing, orders and so on, informing the men of what's to come, you are left to, you're expected to rally the men, roll them up, get them ready, boost their morale for the coming fight.
Nightmare actually takes a bit of an unconventional way of it. He ends up talking to just a lot of them, or small groups of them, sort of one-on-one, going like, "Hey, are you doing okay?" Like, he knows a lot of them
More
personally.
personal.
Mhm.
Okay. So you take your time. It's not the rousing speeches of a lot of other units, but there is a comforting confidence that you instill. They know that you will be there for them. It is not just the mass; it is personal.
Aw.
So that does bring its own faith. And as your ship carries on towards the shore, you get them ready.
You
Um,
know how some fighters or some current war groups play music ahead of the battle.
Yeah.
You're like Ride of the Valkyries. Instead, it's the Friends theme.
Jesus Christ. Okay, Garibaldi, you have the musician with you. You are taking him back to your unit.
Yep.
Um,
I will
you're-
assume one of my lieutenants would have already approached me on the way
Mhm.
back. I'm telling the lieutenant what our mission is, and I'm directing him to begin the briefing, and me and the specialist will be along shortly.
He pops up a salute. Sir, yes, sir. And you can see he's fixed forward, listening to you, but his eyes keep flickering to the back seat.
Don't worry about our specialist. He was assigned to us. He wouldn't have been assigned to us if he wasn't good.
He has a really disconcerting looking set of pipes out now, with like a skull on it and stuff. And he's holding it up in the air, twirling it around his head, staring at it intently.
The lieutenant gives you a look of really Garibaldi. Before yeah,
It clatters to the ground for a second there, and you see him pounce on top of it. It slides away,
Yes.
pounces on top of that.
Garibaldi just looks at him and goes, "Yes, really."
Okay. I'll go get the men ready, sir. And
I snap him a salute.
he returns it and then turns on his heel and hurries off to get your troops ready. Both you and Wolf have a platoon each, around 40 men. So how this is basically going to work for Blazebreaker, Wolf, and Garibaldi, and you can extend this to your people you're protecting as well. For every 10 damage you take, you can basically choose to use your ablative armor, which is your men. Narratively, something else will happen to them, but they are your extra protection, your extra wounds. So you can choose whether to take on damage yourself, or and preserve your men, or to have them drop like flies.
All right. So we have armor. Yay!
You have plot armor.
You basically have
really.
400 temporary hit points to share about.
But every 10 hit points is their life.
Yes.
It's people who die. For you!
Yeah,
The-
but that's
the-
what
the-
they're there for.
The pretty boy needs a couple scars.
I
Okay.
can help out.
You
Pretty
are,
boy has 150 hit points.
you are given time to all situate yourselves. fellow Shadows, is there anything you'd like to do? Now you are under just one pair of watchful eyes.
I am. Wait, how watchful?
I don't know. That's down to Toby.
Garibaldi is watching him, but he's putting a lot of trust into Vale.
Okay.
His first mistake.
So. Alright.
Invisikitty.
Suddenly a dagger slides by your feet. Not like that it was thrown, but, like it clattered on the ground and just slid by your feet.
Why is he playing a
Just
Kenda?
past you.
See, I realize I'm very racist because I automatically assumed he would be a thieving son of a bitch, and I blame Elder Scrolls for it.
The more
did
he's
nothing
doing this,
wrong.
the more I think of Kender from Dragonlance.
Because she did nothing wrong. Vale, did you drop something?
Shiny! Can I have?
Well, apparently you dropped it, so
Are you turning away to pick it up?
He
No.
wants you to pick it up so you pick your pocket.
it's not my item.
But can I have it?
Did you take it from someone? Or is it yours?
Mine.
Khajiit
Then-
is not thief.
Then apparently it's yours. And by the way, if I find out if you stole something from someone, we will have a problem. And I'm actually locking eyes with him. We don't want problems.
Oh.
We have a job to do. I'm a very, very easygoing major. But please don't mistake my easygoingness as me not willing to put you down.
Okay. So can I have?
Go for it. And I step away from the dagger.
Okay, so you're still watching me.
Yeah.
Slowly gonna walk over towards it, pick it up, and then dash back to where he was. The dagger
All right.
disappears.
I'm dragging him along to the gearing up area.
For some reason, I have bagpipes out now.
Okay. About an
Allie,
hour
I
passes.
take issue with the fact that you let us have anything that we wanted because his
Mhm.
bag is full of instruments.
I know, I fucking love it. Um,
You want to know what my bags are like?
bees.
There's a shovel. There's a tent.
About an hour passes. You're given time to get ready to muster up, and then you start to hear as if explosions outside the ship. A lot of you that have been on the front lines, this is no surprise. The airship's simply taking fire as it's heading into the combat zone, essentially. And, yep, flak. And the ship rumbles a little as it starts to return fire of its own, which is much louder. Cannon fire, some arcane weaponry making a sort of sizzle sound as it fires off. And you all receive runners who come up to you just to alert you. Okay, positions, time to launch.
Wolf will turn to Earth's Glass, the lieutenant, and Verifinax. And be like, all right, I know this is probably going to be a first. Looking at Earth Glass?
Usk glass.
Earth's
Usk.
Usk. It's Usk. There's no
Usk.
Irk.
Usk Glass. Keep your wits about you. Keep your head down. Don't do anything rash. Spontaneous. Lieutenant, I trust that you are familiar with general operations. Make
Yes, sir.
sure you follow those. Verifinaxis, I'm under your lead.
Yes. I will be quite large, so if you would not mind your men in the lovely shields surrounding me a little.
Of course.
She
And
smiles.
All right. I guess let's head out.
Right. You move up to the top deck. Ritter Blazebreaker. While the airship above is hearing the sort of flak fire, you are hearing the splashes of waves, the splintering of wood, as your ship actually comes under very, very heavy fire. You can already hear men screaming to bail water.
Wait, are we flying?
No, you're on the boat.
We're
You
up in
are.
the sky.
I'm not.
Yep. Kronos is down on an actual ship.
Okay, I was confused. I thought we were all in the same vehicle. Wait, we have a very confused person.
He got shuttled back down to the actual boats on the water.
Yep. Now,
Ali, when he hears the call for bailing, he actually heads underground and starts. Anytime he sees a hole, just starts firing ice at the holes to try and plug them.
okay, marvelous. That will change things a bit for you. Very good thinking. As you help seal the holes in the ship, this ship is meant. This is a personal vessel that has been through many combat with you. This is meant for you, Crusaders, and is basically an archaic form of a landing boat. There is a great big wooden ramp that has temporary sealant to stop it from sinking, but it is meant to beach itself and open up. And instead of you having to get yourselves through the water because the boat starts to sink, you're sealing it up. Sealing up the holes means you actually land. And I'll get back to you in a moment. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Garibaldi and Fellow Shadows. You are told to basically muster up, get launched, assist in taking the town, and then head off on your own. Your prerogative. You have your own freedom to move where you wish. It's under your direction.
All right.
Just your objective.
Well, first thing I'm doing is calling for Sergeant Richter. Richter, you're his guard. Keep the
Understood, sir.
Tabaxi alive. You and your squad. Everyone else, we are to assist in the landing, and then we are moving out. Take your shots and then go. And with that, I'm immediately off the side of the ship.
Well, what you actually do is you are going from below deck. There is a little, basically, hole in the bottom to drop things from, and it's a very good launching point for you. So you exit with your troops, everyone igniting their little magical apparatus to fly. Fellow Shadows, what's your flying method?
I am just going to start walking into the sky.
Lovely. So, you'll have to hurry along a bit. You've got to move your little feet to keep up. But it ruins the graceful image of the might of the Hexenreich Air Brigade a little bit, as your men with the majestic little magical boots zoom off through the air, and this tabaxi runs along beside them.
With winged boots.
With winged boots, yes.
Pumping his arms, I like to believe, holding a bagpipe.
I was actually really hoping that you were going to say they flapped his arm.
I'm going to start playing the bagpipes.
Hey,
if you want a mental image, if you ever played Mario 2 and you see Luigi kicking his feet in the air, it's like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
In fact.
Wolf and Usglas and Heiligen, you are actually led up to the top deck, mainly so that Ferrofinex can stand up there and transform. Human form shifting.
I move back in expectation.
And a few unexpected deckhands do have to hurry back away from her a bit, as suddenly she is a much larger form, a adult white dragon, who looks at Wolf to make sure that his men are ready.
He will turn to address the men. You fly close to her, you keep your shields up around her, and you follow her lead.
There is a resounding "Sir!" as they all reply and salute.
Lieutenant, first class, stay close to me.
I'm giving this bemused look because I think we're the same rank.
Same rank, but
Actually, you technically outrank him a bit.
I know. That's why I'm giving this bemused look.
But but it's a different sectioning.
it's
I know,
different
but it's this
environment.
bemused look of he's barking orders at me, and I'm like,
Yeah. The Ferrophanax actually, her head grains round to you, Elegant, and she goes, and a rumbling voice, tinged with, it's not quite telepathic, but there's that feeling that it is pushing words and understanding into your mind from her natural voice, giving it a feminine tinge. You sure you don't need a ride, dear?
I'm sure, ma'am. Do you you wouldn't want me to make you smaller so you can land easier without getting hit?
Little dragon.
Her head just shakes slowly, and then she turns to you, Usgras. Eliza, do you need a ride?
I'm going to whip out a pair of brooms. We got this.
She audibly chuckles a deep rumbling noise at the sight. It's very.
Can you
very,
believe they still had these?
That's very quaint.
I know. It'll be adorable. They still work.
Mostly.
Mostly.
And with that, the ship, you're not sure, but it feels like the ship shifts slightly as she pushes off of it and takes flight.
Is it because it got weighed down briefly when she shifted forms?
Maybe.
Alright, well, I'm going to lift off with both brooms. As I do so, I'm going to, both characters raise their arm up, and a celestial raven will form and land on her shoulder for each of them.
Nice.
I'm gonna hop off the edge and grow my wings.
Okay, what are your wings like, Becky?
They are white eagle wings.
Very pretty. Okay.
Wolf.
So you all launch off.
I imagine Wolf's men are in a perimeter around her underside and around the wings, and then Wolf himself will probably be above her, keeping a very keen eye on what's happening down below as he slides down a pair of green lens goggles.
Okay. Ritter Blazebreaker, you hear the grinding thump of your ship hitting, well, you're not quite entirely sure. Sounds rocky. And you know there's just going to be a few moments until that front ramp drops. Anything you want to do before then?
They watch him take the cloak he had fastened over one's shoulder, throw it back, pull out the shield emblazoned with his symbol, and start giving off the telltale glow that they're so used to seeing.
Okay. Your beacon that leads them through battle so many times, familiar sight for them. The front ramp drops, and there is a resounding noise of gunfire as waiting forces fire into the hold. Are you at the front of the charge?
I am.
Okay. You and a few men flanking you. The gunfire, there's a sound of it hitting plate metal. You hear a couple of grunts of pain, but they seem to hold, and a whole lot of rounds hit you and just ping off without effect. And you hear your knight commander yell, "Charge!"
And he starts to laugh and heads off on his horse.
Okay.
Notably, he does not have the Avenger drawn yet. He's instead firing beams of ice into the group.
Okay. You charge out on your little magical horsey. Your men following close behind you, and you are greeted with the sight of what looks like to be very hurriedly mustered defenses. Looks like perhaps town guard have grabbed quick armaments, grabbed whatever metal, wooden pieces of planking they can, and have just set up rudimentary barricades. You have, it seems, your ship sort of drove into a shit, what do you call them? A wooden dock, and has crushed that dock mostly, and then embedded itself against the stonework of the city's edge itself, giving you direct access onto their land. And as your men charge forward, you are very easily able to impact their lines and overcome them, freezing men, running them down beneath your floaty horse. You can see your men cleaving the defenders into two. Some of them have great swords, some of them using sword and shield. It's very personal weapons is what these knightly orders use. It's of choice.
Mhm.
All right. Is there any particular direction you'd like to go in this town? I don't mean northeast or such, but would you like to head towards any sort of building you would think to go to?
Probably
Where
the
would you-
town hall. Attempt to seize the middle and then work out from there.
Okay. You can see the town hall in the distance. It's a larger building than most, and you start to carve your way there. Taking in your surroundings, all of you now. This little port city was not ready for this. You suspect that Hexenreich was using some cloaking magic as he headed in to make sure that this town did not have enough forewarning to muster a proper defense. Well, it would have dropped when they went closer. It's still far too late for this little town. There are a few rudimentary cannons firing up into the air, mostly trying to take down the 3 airships that are in the sky. And you can see about 4 other boats starting to either basically go directly up to the shore or stopping a little distance from it. There are a few dragons in the air of your own military, a mix of young adults and just young dragons in general, breathing fire down. What would the flying brigades like to do?
Go ahead, Toby.
As my brigade is dropping out of the bottom, I can assume that we're seeing the assault taking heavy fire.
Mm-hmm.
I will order part of the brigade to do a quick drop and flashbang, if they have the ability to, the barricade line, and then break off the other group. I am going to have try and blow a hole in the barricades for the ground troops so they don't have to fight over it.
Okay, in that case, you give me a attack roll.
And then I was also going to say, personally, I'm going to look over the battlefield and see if I can identify someone who's directing everything.
As far as directing goes, there seems to be a few people shouting orders, but it seems like little town sergeants, that kind of thing. You suspect you can see people running to and from the town hall on occasion. Look like runners relaying whatever orders this town's governor is giving.
All right. So you want me to make a standard attack roll or my attack roll?
Depends. Are you assisting your men in firing on the defenses?
Oh, hell yeah. I'm
Okay.
also going to try and pick out the sergeants who are directing to try and cause a little chaos.
Okay, then. In that case, give me a attack roll for a sergeant.
Okay. Roll d20 plus ungodly amounts. So I'm just going to roll my big rifle.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's definitely a hit.
And now I'm assuming they don't have Vorpal weapons, so.
Nope. Okay,
But am I using my damage abilities?
you're using
on
your
this?
damage abilities for this one. This is for the sergeant, which you are firing at.
Okay, so if I remember correctly, no, I lost that. Okay, so I'm just checking over everything because there's a whole lot here. Okay, no. All right, and I'm not using artillery on this.
Okay,
All right,
is it just that shot?
That's just that.
Okay, well, that is enough. This poor man is not particularly robust. So he takes a bullet directly through his heart and simply drops down dead. You can hear cries of confusion, and there's the slight sound of return fire up into the sky now, but this does mean that they are in fact splitting their fire between the ground and the air forces. Disarray.
All right. Yeah, I'm.
Give
Any
me
of that were. Go ahead.
D20 plus 5 roll twice. This is going to represent your men firing. Okay, and your men expend some of their own magic to imbue their rounds. And Ritter Blazebreaker, there is in fact a very clear hole in some of the barricading leading towards the town hall now, as there is a resounding explosion of magical artillery fire.
He's going to direct his men to take advantage of the and just charge.
All right, Captain Wolf.
He is going to be more surveying the immediate areas below him with goggles that he has. You can see extreme detail of extreme distance as creatures and objects as small as 2 feet. So 21 for that.
Okay. With that, I mean, you can see very clearly there is a line of cannons at the water's edge.
Okay.
A little bit further back into town, it seems they have pulled out what looks to be old ballistas.
Okay.
That are not quite ready yet, but they are getting crew into place. It seems all of the town's defenders are in fact at the waterfront, except for perhaps a few people running back and forth trying to relay messages.
Okay, and is there a way for us to relay messages?
There is, in fact, a way. Each of you will have. Let's see. Toby has his own class ability.
Yeah.
You are able to select, I believe, 6 people to relay with.
I was actually going to ask that, but I forgot. Can I link to the leaders of each of our groups?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
That is still set up for your own. However, each of you will have basically a magical equivalent of a radio operator somewhere in your forces that will be able to relay with command.
Okay. So Wolf is going to relay cannon groups along the battlements in the front, and then ballistas coming in, being prepared to engage those. And go ahead.
You just get a confirmation in reply.
Okay. And so I'm going to go down and engage the ballistas.
Okay.
Keeping most of my men in a protective role still around Vervanek.
Okay. Osglass and Heideggen, you see him dropping to do this, and what are you choosing to do?
Oh, I guess he's got his own plan right now. Want to have a bit of fun?
Sure.
Oh. Well, see if you can keep up. I am gonna drop a pair of fireballs on the cannons.
Okay. What are you choosing to do, Heideggen?
How are the cannons lying?
They seem to be in pairs of 2.
Mm-hmm.
Say every 15 feet from each other. along the water's edge. There are 10 cannons in total.
I am going to pull out my staff,
Mhm.
and I'm checking 2 things real quick.
By the way, one of my characters used the staff. The other character used the spell slot.
Okey-dokey.
I'm just gonna hit this button because I'm wall of firing.
Very
I'm gonna
nice.
use Staff of the Magi.
Okay, that will be enough to take in all of the cannons and quite a few people manning them and defenders. Sam, would you give me what's the radius of your fireballs?
Let me hit the button. That would help. That's easier for me.
Yeah.
All right, that's a level
You're 30, Emma.
5.
It's
Fireball.
standard.
That's a wait, yeah. I think it's 30. I think it's a 30-footer.
Give me a second, I'll hit
I thought it would say it on the thing.
It only says in the total version.
20-foot radius.
20-foot radius.
Yeah.
You can get
Fireball.
four cannons in one shot. Do you wish to stack the shots or spread them?
I'll spread them.
You spread them.
I'll
Okay.
spread them.
All right. Roll damage for the other fireball as well.
Let me grab the other girl's fireball. So
Really
hers,
turning on all my freaking spell
hers, she's
descriptions.
only doing it at level 3, but yeah. What's the one from the thing? Oh, but it doesn't
Okay.
matter. Does about as good a damage as the level. That's funny.
Very nice. And Ferrofinex is actually the men surrounding her are forced to follow her lead as she actually does a sweep along with you, casting fire along the same line.
Mhm. My fire from both characters does the cool thing versus people with resistance because of my feet. So
Yeah. Okay.
I light things up.
And Wolf, what are you doing to these ballistas?
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna shoot twice normally with the rifle.
Yep.
And then bonus action attack, do
Another shot.
An explosive round shot. I do that?
That's a spell. So that would be an action.
Well, it's a okay. So it's a bonus action attack. So it had to be a range attack.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then I'll just make 3 range attacks then to the ballistas directly.
Okay.
Like, try to just put them out of operation.
Right. Go ahead and give me 3 attack rolls.
Okay. And then I'll probably
Also, as for saving spell slots and such, you know you're very
Yeah.
unlikely to go into another assault after this one in the same day.
okay. So
Just
we
in
can
general doctrine.
Okay.
If you all want to go kaboomy,
Yep.
go for it.
I will spend spell slots then for artillery.
Okay.
So 3 attacks, I believe, at normal. They don't.
Yep, all hit.
Okay, and then do that. That.
Okay. And you're spending your smite slots?
Yep. So I'm going to do, let's see, was it first, second? I'll do 2 seconds or 3 seconds.
Okay. Okay, so how this all goes down. A wall of fire erupts along the coastline of this little port town, engulfing men and cannons alike. There are a couple of explosive circles of fire that ring out from this as a couple of fireballs land in place. While the cannons, the main metal body, seem to be okay. They're little warped, but they would be salvageable. The holdings, the wooden holdings of them, explode, and more importantly, the men manning the cannons die horribly. All the cannons are out of commission. Ferrofinex then sweeps down behind the line slightly, doing 54 damage in a fucking 6-foot cone. Jesus. horribly freezing some more men behind it. And then there is the sound of explosions further into the town as all 3 ballistas are taken out of commission.
Oh, now you're just showing off.
Getting the job done.
I was talking to the dragon.
Oh, okay.
I took out some cannons.
Ferrofanax does this sort of little aerial turn briefly on her back in the air, and you've been around dragons long enough to know what their sort of happy grins look like.
There, she's hot rodding right now.
Yeah. And she is showing off. She is flying through the air, soaring majestically, as if challenging the men protecting her to keep up.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
With her 8-foot fly speed, they are starting to lag behind a little. And that is a little bit of a problem for you, Wolf, because this is a clear. This isn't how you do it. But yes, you are able to annihilate the town's artillery defenses, making sure that the ships and such do not come under any further fire. Further shadows. You have your officer has started to assist in the assault. And what are you doing?
I am going to put up my hood and disappear.
Okay.
And then I am going to pull out that very weird pipe that I had earlier. And
Is it the pan pipe, or is this a different weird pipe?
This is the
it
skull
doesn't actually
pipe.
play, does it? Alright. I was going to try and actually see if it would actually use it, but
Oh, the spell's built in.
yeah, I guess it's not.
It doesn't.
So let's copy and paste that information.
I just honestly dragged him into my character sheet when I had him in the other one, and tagged him as once per day.
Yeah, I just forgot to. Alright, so I will use an action to play these pipes. As I try to get close to people, so that each creature within 30 feet must succeed on a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw or become frightened for a minute.
Okay, you can easily swoop down, but beyond the horrifying water fire, to some of the further barricades into town. These men are scattered. A few men per barricade. There's not the mustering at the front, and I'm not even going to roll these dudes are really untrained. You are easily able to scatter about 10 men or so, causing them to run screaming through town from something they can't even see. Just a haunting tune.
Is this a daytime or a nighttime raid, by the way?
This is a daytime raid.
Okay.
Yeah.
My god goes, they do nothing.
And so Ritter Blazebreaker meets even less defense than expected. And Kronos, you're basically able to make a straight path to the city hall.
Before I say what he would say for going in, what is generally their policy on surrender? And that's
they do take prisoners. However, it's not. There is no Geneva Convention. There's nothing like that. There is the idea of battlefield honor, but part of that honor is killing as well. You know. So it's basically down to you.
Blazebreaker will basically bust down the door, and I'm assuming he's basically staring at what would probably be the mayor and maybe a command.
There is what you think would be perhaps the captain of the town's guard, and of the little governor of this port town, and there are a few defenders using sword and shield, and about 4 or so gunmen behind them.
Ritter will look at them, basically charge straight into the middle, and yell out, "I am Ritter Blazebreaker the Everfrost. Either you will surrender or die." and I am using my channel divinity for Aura of Fear.
Okay, can you give me the button for that?
Conquest Paladin.
Muscle Mage.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What's the DC?
Just a sec.
Well, I'm just going to roll this because it might be very low anyway.
Ooh.
Depending on your DC, one person may make it.
Probably 14 plus charisma.
In fact, if you want, I can look at your sheet because I know you are in a complicated setup.
Would it be his spell save
It's
DC?
Yes.
it's mostly complicated because it actually uses my paladin save DC instead of my wizard save DC. So charisma.
Yes. Okay, I can figure that out though real quick.
It's a 15.
Okay. Right. So, while the little guardsmen themselves all seem to freeze up, a couple dropping their weapons, the mayor screeching as he backpedals, you see their captain grimace and charge at you with his little sword and shield.
Poor man.
Oh no, did you say the Captain Grimace?
Yes, he is Captain Grimace.
You'll never be able to stop him, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because you're not the PR department.
He is going to swing at you.
Okay.
Okay. Playing.
Not even close.
That wouldn't even hit me.
Yeah, these aren't good dudes.
You will calmly look at the man, lift up a hand, and ray of frost to the chest.
Okay, give me that roll, please. Okay, that'll hit. Okay, how do you want to do this? What effect does the ray of frost have on him?
It's effectively an ice spike straight through the chest.
Okay, you hear that, and there's a brief gurgling of blood, but he simply slumps down in front of you.
But the blood
And
froze.
Ritter will calmly look at the rest and go, "Drop your weapons."
There is a clattering of metal onto the floor, and the gunmen place their weapons down carefully.
Kaboom.
And arms go up.
And Ritter will then smile and say, "Very good, please sit down." And then just
They
specifically call back, "We have prisoners."
Your commander comes in after you, sort of having to hurry along. You really charged ahead despite your little stubby legs. Although you're on horseback, so that doesn't matter. I should. Did you dismount before you came in the door?
Nope.
I
you
like
went
to
straight
think
through the
you've
door
got like a
on the
little
way.
war pony that's just trained to kick
Yeah.
doors in.
Okay, so the little mechanical hovering horse basically bars through the doors, and this happened. Cool.
Yeah, that.
I assume it's got like bull horns on the front or something, just because he's used to doing this.
It's on brand.
Yeah. Okay, so all right. He walks in after you, looks at the fact that you've basically disarmed the the leadership of this town, air quotes, and you see him pull out a little device that he fumbles with a bit, not used to these little communication gizmos. This knightly order is much older than the main body of the military, and still rather archaic in its ways.
Mhm.
And
As
Yeah.
a note, as an aside, he's probably very used to Hamir taking prisoners when he can.
Yep. No, I think he likes that about you. This is Night Commander. I think the town is ours, he says, looking out the window towards the great big fucking wall of fire and the burning defenses and exploded defenses. And
Ice wall and everything else going on.
yeah. And frankly, it doesn't take long for you to put the town to rest, to grab any last holdouts. Not that there are many, and the town is yours within the hour. Once secured, one of the airships actually moves over the town, and the two others start to head off towards off either direction down the coastline, and then dip inland.
I'm just imagining the airship from Super Mario Brothers 3 with the chain and
Yeah, totally.
all that.
And before long, the general is ferried down to the town hall, which I am going to assume you probably take as your own holding.
It makes sense.
Yeah. And you'll receive various messages, some through the relay communication of the radio men in the artillery units, some directly. Okay, come on, majors, captains, report to the town hall, please.
All right.
Copy.
Go where I'm told.
I'm gonna try and quietly follow the boss.
Yeah, but
Sneaky,
you
sneaky, sneaky.
can choose to remain invisible and in fact go where you please during this time.
Yep.
Might be a little troubling for Garibaldi, who you seem to have lost your cat. Yeah. Where would you like to go?
Kitty.
Where would you like to go, Fair Shadows?
I'm gonna follow
Let's
my
get a
boss.
Molly hard.
I'm gonna
Okay.
follow Garibaldi, like 10 feet behind him.
Alright. Nice. Okay.
Here, kitty.
I'm gonna do one thing though.
Mhm.
Because he's kind of I'm kind of going a little quiet. I'm gonna push this button as I go.
Okay, you want to just be a bit unnoticed.
Yeah.
Are you trying to slip away or just
No, he's kind of hiding in
in the crowd?
behind-
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, his hiding in the crowd is hide behind Dragon Leg.
Yeah.
But
I get what you want though. Okay. Okay. You're able to report to the town hall. It's not a large town hall. This is a
Dragon head takes up door.
yeah. Ferrophanax is going to have to room, which makes you hiding a little bit challenging, I'm afraid.
nope, still fine. I'm 5'10". That might be too small. Too big.
No, she's a good 6 foot. She's a tall lady.
Okay, you can hide behind her.
It's okay. I'll let you hide behind me and me.
She glances back over her shoulder at you with a wry little smile, and she motions to Usglas, and Usglas says, "If come help crowd."
Yep, I'll crowd. I'm good at
Actually,
crowding.
sad part is with the roll, my level, my age actually ended up being the same.
Aw.
Nice.
You're 17?
Yeah, that's an adult.
I am
Humans
tested-
start at 15.
I am
Yeah.
definitely
Age.
robbing the cradle. Is all I'm saying.
I mean, tieflings, since this world uses more of the old school, tieflings have human
Lifespan.
lifespans and everything. So,
And
and
it's archaic,
sorcerers,
so he would 14, 15, let's say. Yeah,
That's
you're in the
war age.
military. Yeah.
and in the fact that I'm a sorcerer, it's not like I
Have a
had
choice.
to learn my class, right? Learn my skills. They just kind of appeared.
Let's see.
The wings are also going away.
Wolf, as you come down, Ferrophanax is going to give you a grin and goes, "Huh, exhilarating, yes."
A word, if you may.
Also, someone might
certainly.
notice the wall of fire suddenly disappears too.
My prerogative is to have protection onto you. I cannot do that if you advance faster than my men.
She sort of glances back into the sky, but as if tracing her own maneuvers in memory. Looks at you quaint to her flight gear, and then she sort of just bows her head a bit and goes, "I do apologize, Captain. The moment carried me away."
It is an easy victory, but not everything is easy in wars.
I will certainly keep that in mind.
Thank you.
And she smiles politely and heads on in.
Wait.
Garibaldi comes in somewhat hot shortly after they enter the building, as he was a little ways out.
Mhm.
Just that moment of realizes he's coming in a little too fast and kind of doesn't touch the ground, but creates that small dust cloud as he kind of slides in. Does this little look around like, yep, what I meant to do, and walks in.
All right. The general actually looks a little bit surprised to see you walk in, and he turns to one of his aides, and there is a bit of hushed, whispered conversation. And then he slams his fist down on the table and goes, "You weren't supposed to radio them. They have a job." Garibaldi, off with you. You know what you're doing. Well done.
Yes, sir. And I turn around and I start to walk out. Thank you, sir. Good luck. And almost the Superman takeoff, just boom.
Yep.
Oh, they're so abusive with our toys.
So loud too.
Where was his cat? Did you see the cat with him? And the aide just shakes his head rapidly. He's disgruntled by that, pondering it for a moment before smiling at the rest of you. Good job, everybody. Nice, quick, easy, just how I like my operations. Who was the artillery, the fire, all of that?
I'll be our contingent, sir.
Your contingent? He appears a bit. I don't remember you being able to do that.
I'm just giving him this look. Like both of me are suddenly just giving this very measured look at our contingent.
Putting the staff away quietly.
I mean, given you go through sign for him helping you.
No, he's assigned to protect the dragon. We're not assigned to him.
Ferrophanax actually reaches her arm behind her and pulls you forward, Heligan. And as she does, she gives you a look of glass that says, "Sorry if I make him seem glorious a bit."
I'm giving a kinder look at that. I can get behind the fact he did a wall of fire.
That was my sweet boy here, General. And he squints a little more at you, which is great with one eye.
He's not looking at all because his eyes closed.
I'm going to suddenly pipe up, "Sir, when this is over, R&D would very much like to have further discussions with this young man."
Oh, yes, it's quite a feat. Very, very good. I have to remember. What's your name, boy?
Oh, yes, discussions.
Lieutenant Helgen.
Lieutenant Halligan. And you see him sort of glance at his aide who like frantically grabs up a pen and writes that down. Right.
Write that down. R&D wants that for a minute.
Oh, Lieutenant, that's
Wants, air quotes.
You should be very proud. You are a credit to your nation.
Thank you, sir.
R&D wants you, and he's going to look at Usglass.
I'm giving kind of a beaming smile.
And he grins in return and goes, "You might have to fight for him, I'm afraid."
I'm willing for part-time. I only need him for a few days.
I'm sure we can come to an agreement there. Right, marvelous job, everybody. You in particular, Lieutenant. And a fine showing once more, Blazebreaker. Very, very good securing. Well, the mayor will be handy.
I'm gonna kind of like whisper to the dragon, "Is that actually the Blazebreaker?"
She nods her head briefly before goes, "Expected him to be taller."
Yeah, I thought he was like about yay. I'm measuring up about where I thought he was gonna be.
Yeah, actually, a rather annoying thing, Ritter Blazebreaker, is most of the sort of little publications and drawings depicting your deeds tend to depict you as human.
He's kind of used to it by now. It's been a while.
It's a fine showing by all. But that's enough patting ourselves on the back. We have work to do. I am sure our little surprise here won't repeat itself. They will be aware of us now. And we can expect much harsher defense in future. Let's see. Wolf.
Sure.
Have your men assist in moving some of the supplies down from the airship. I want to get some fortifications of our own up on the town borders very quickly.
Right. Permission to be dismissed.
Granted, he sort of very dismissively waves his hand. You're getting the feeling that he expects people to do stuff without the formality so much.
Military family, very proper.
Yeah, whereas he is actually from a common lineage himself. He is not nobility.
Huh.
This is a man that has proven himself very, very repeatedly in battle. But he waves you off, and then he looks at you, Blazebreaker. No time for you to rest, I'm afraid. I need you to continue your march towards the capital.
Usual business. What I figured.
Never a rest for you. Off you go.
No fun in resting.
And you also get the little wave off.
He just calmly hops off to the table he did his feet up on, gets on the horse, and
he has a few words with a few more officers that were summoned, and they head off on their own duties until it is just Verifinax, Usglass, and Halligan left with him. And he goes, "Okay, I have had a little word with the mayor already, and it seems that our dear traitor," and he says that with a little look towards Verifinax, that is what he is,
Not a way
has
right?
Yep. Has indeed made his way to the capital. But he is not there right now, apparently. Seems he had some words with a few nobles, King included, who seems to think very favorably of him, and then started going from town to town. He was here but 3 days ago. If only we'd been here sooner ourselves.
I'm gonna frown. Twice.
And, yeah. Fernax also seems a little perplexed at that and just looks at you, Scross, and just goes, "If he's affecting to share his research, why would he be bothering going town to town?"
Because he's not defecting to share his research.
You think there was another reason?
Well, he's always had his eyes on one thing. He wants to know things. He's looking for something.
That seems reasonable.
Why else would he be moving around? Otherwise, he'd be looking for a fortified place to hide out until the siege came for him, because he knows they'd come.
Could he be looking for a place to hide?
I look around and I'm like, this little port town doesn't look like the kind of place that a great dragon as knowledgeable as him would seek to hide.
Yeah, well, I like to think we are smart enough to, think better. Natures do take over sometimes. Pride isn't exactly a secret with us. Going into Swallow is not something I think he would do. General is also looking at you all sort of murmuring amongst yourselves with increasing frustration.
I'm sorry, sir. It's just trying to understand where he's going is just as important as finding him.
Well, do you know where he's going?
Do they know where he was prior?
Well, yes. He's actually going to pull out what looks like a hexamarked map. It's not entirely accurate to the region. It's not detailed, but it does have the basics of where certain towns are on it. And he shows capital has been circled. This port town has been circled. A couple of towns to its west have been circled. But it looks like he may have made a loop from the capital to the west, hitting those towns, then background along the coast, starting to head east.
May I do an investigation roll?
Go for it.
I'm keeping in mind possibly, I don't even know if ley lines are a thing, but maybe that.
How is this, a little map or normal map?
It's table sized.
Okay, so not testing large.
I don't know anything of exactly what he was researching, so I can't base anything on that. But I'm basically going, is there magical convergence stuff that would be of interest in the area?
Right. So looking over the map, unfortunately, none of this seems to. You do know there are a few ley line spots in the world, and you know where they're known fucking worldwide.
Yeah.
They're no secret.
Mhm.
The capital is one of them. It's not an uncommon thing. Capitals to be built on a ley line spot. But the towns he's visiting don't seem to have any association with
Okay.
that.
I can't find anything to piece together with that.
But I would also like a similar role from Heiligen, please. I take it you're looking at the map at least.
Well, I'm basically going to draw. Okay, well, this is where one of the ley lines is, and he visited there, but I don't see it anywhere else nearby.
Right. And let's see. Investigation, that's intelligence, right?
Yes. I say unless you want me to do like religion or something, but I'm pretty sure that investigation's the most appropriate right now.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. So between you and Ferrofinax, Osglass,
Yeah.
there does seem to be a little bit of a pattern. He is ignoring the much larger settlements. And you start to get a feeling, looking at just little markings on the map and such. The ones where farming communities and large towns seem to have flourished are being ignored.
He's avoiding a population.
I'm not sure it's population so much as I don't know. Look, this area here. This is barren land. It's rocky. It's not fertile. Same over here. This village is it's set up for, I don't know. Where is this here? Do we know what is here, General? And the General sort of shrugs a little bit.
Yeah, he's going for the worst places. I guess that's what we go for. Look for something that's not useful. No farms or very bad farming land. The poorest places.
And with your role, you can see that there is, in fact, one of those villages he visited was abandoned. And there seems to be another one to the east that just passed a populated village.
I'll point that one out. We can check here.
You think that's a good destination?
If this is even a pattern, yeah.
Okay.
Can we get a couple flyers on there?
Yes.
Scouts?
I'll relay this to Garibaldi's unit, and why don't you start heading there yourself?
I will nod and start walking out twice.
Yep. Okay.
I will confer to the lady dragon this time. If we're going slow with the shield carriers, I can fly separate. But if we're going fast, I probably will need a ride. This old broom only goes so fast.
I think we may be going slow, dear. It's a few days even at our best speeds.
All right.
I can't fly very fast myself.
Well, why don't you both take a little ride on me?
All right. We can compare notes while we do.
Yes.
Have a nice discussion on the way.
Did you know I used to carry this little mite on my shoulders when he was just yay high?
Oh.
Last week.
Just last week. Yep.
It'll be like old times, she says as she resumes her dragon form and leans her neck down.
All right.
Wolf, you get a radio message through from one of your lieutenants who's relaying it.
Okay.
Sir, we've been ordered to stop what we're doing and get going.
Copy that. Form up where the rendezvous is.
You see a few of your men still carrying like large fucking bundles from the ship. Look down at these bundles as if, which way do we go with these?
Drop them to the ground.
Go to the ground. Leave them there. Others will pick them up from there.
Right, sir. And you can easily see from up in the air Ferrophanax's dragonoid form starting to spread her wings.
And he was just pointing to the dragon. Head out. Follow her.
Right. Your men quickly drop all their shit, grab their own shit, and start to follow along. Garibaldi, you also receive a message through one of your lieutenants, who is
I'm calling a halt to the movement.
your men do come to a stop. Sir, command is reporting there is a location that the Black Dragon might be heading towards.
Right. Do we have coordinates?
Yep. You see him waving over one of his own subordinates because you split your platoon, you split into units.
Mm-hmm.
Who comes forward with a map, and he starts to mark down on the map and hands it over to you. Right here, sir. Old abandoned village.
Vale, you there?
A ball of yarn drops just ahead of you.
One of your men visibly sort of like there's a little jet back in the air away from this.
And then you're licked right on the face.
All right. 1, not cool. 2, I'm holding up the map.
Hood
So
goes down.
we're going here. I'm assuming you were put on this group because you're a tracker, or you can help us move faster.
Whisper. Then how do I whisper? How do I do this? Never mind. It's called using Discord.
Yes.
I need to hit the restroom real quick. So.
All right, don't damage it too much.
Out of character. Well, someone already racked part of the toilet down here, so I have to use the one upstairs instead.
Yes. Definitely that. Also, morale. See? And I'm going to hold up... Ah, crap. A small orb with smoky, Yes, a small glass orb filled with smoke.
Excellent. Well, we have directions. I want you to keep an eye out because I assume you know who we're looking for. We're going to be moving at a high rate of speed, gentlemen. Ladies, we're probably going to travel through the night, so be ready. I will call for a stop so we can get something to eat a bit later on, but we are moving as fast as we can.
There is the familiar sound of trying to snap midair salutes. It's basically leather boot hitting metal boot and, hand to forehead. Sir?
I'm handing the map back off to the subordinate.
Yep, he takes it.
Lieutenant, radio back our confirmation of orders, and we are moving out.
Yes, sir. And they go about their business under your orders.
And we're taking off.
Right. Okay. Ritter Blazebreaker.
Yes.
Your charge towards the city is as glorious as it always is. Mud, tired, cold food, and not enough resistance to be pleasing. You do meet a few token little towns on the way, which you are very easily able to blaze through. I take it you prefer to take prisoners?
Yeah.
Do you leave any men behind to watch over those prisoners once you move on, or do you take the prisoners with you?
He leaves some, depending on the size of the group. If it's a sizable group, he'd probably bring them with, just because there's no way to really leave enough people without just killing the force.
Yeah.
But if it's just a couple, he'd send them back, just like so. You'd take them back to the main force and then make your way back.
You have 20 knights and 40 men at arms. Each village you go into doesn't have much in the way of actual defenders. There's probably 20 men each, and the rest are civilian populations. I'd say with how fearsome your assault is, these men will break quickly. You probably get about 6 to 8 survivors in each village of the defending forces, and a whole fuckload of civilians.
He'll probably, honestly, if it's just on civilians, he'll probably basically give them the rundown of, we are not going to hurt you, and like give them like an emblem or something of his that basically says, as far as they're concerned, you are under my protection. You are not to be hurt, but don't resist.
Give me 2 persuasion rolls. Also, you should have at least one more skill proficiency than you do. Looking at your sheet. Yeah.
All
you
things
should.
considered, can I toss that into persuasion?
Yes, you can. Yes. So I will
Cool,
up that
that will
roll
bump up
by
to-
6.
Mhm.
I have turned about to bounce a little bit in a moment because the dog had to go out. So
Okay.
Mhm.
A first village seems like they don't really trust you. And you can see that sort of glowering hatred of, you have invaded us in their eyes. Do you wish to do anything about that?
He will, honestly, if any of them come forward saying, I feel slighted, I want, like, he'll base tell them, if any of you have a problem with this, come forward and challenge me. And let them. You
No
won't
one
use
does.
lethal force.
No one does. But you have done this enough that you know that there will probably be a mustering and uprising if you leave this be. And that will be behind your lines, essentially.
I'm assuming that's the first town.
That's the first town. You can either solve that with violence or leave some of your men at arms behind, or so on and so forth.
He will leave some of the men at arms behind.
Okay. Based on experience, town population, how well trained they are, you feel comfortable leaving, let's say, 15 behind.
Okay.
They'd easily be able to put anything down. The second town, they seem to very nervously take you at your word. You don't feel like you're going to have much trouble, or if there would be trouble, the townsfolk themselves will probably hush down any people that would try and do something. Out of a mix of fear, respect, you're not sure.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, he does leave them basically an emblem say that is basically he has been through here, they're under charge, do not like torture, hurt, maim, etc. And they're probably used to him doing this, like the other people he knows.
Yep, you men. This is very familiar. There's a few eye rolls because this is a little silly to some of them, but you get respect for it at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and you are able to continue your charge towards the capital without much issue. Let's see. However, there is suddenly a chiming from your knight commander's satchel, and he doesn't seem to notice it himself. He's busy talking with yet another knight to his side.
Murder will just do some commentary, which just gotta knock on the armor on the guy's hip and just go bag his ring.
Oh, blasted thing. And you see him dig through the bag and pull out the little magical communication device that he so despises.
Bingly, bingly, beep.
Remember when we used to use horseback riders and birds and...
I was hoping you're saying we use horses to communicate.
Yeah, runners.
To be fair,
No, just the horse. Just throw the horse.
when we did that, we also ended up going several days the wrong direction many times.
Yes, well, that part I don't particularly miss. He holds it up to his ear. Yes, what? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Right. Where? Simon! And he gestures someone, another one of the men at arms forward. Map, boy, map. And the men at arms hurriedly pulls out the little map. Round about here. Okay, he doesn't mark it or anything, but he grabs the map, and you feel like he hasn't actually probably closed off the device, but he drops it back in his bag anyway. And he pushes the map towards you, jabbing at one spot with finger. Afraid you're going to separate from us.
They want me taking the route there.
Yep, you're heading over here. Apparently that blasted dragon is heading towards its destination, and they want the mightiest might.
Ah, the fun part.
Yes. He actually looks a little envious at you because despite being a dragon-heavy nation, knights, dragon slaying, glory. It's not often they get the opportunity.
The most
Riddle
fearsome of
gotta-
foes, you know?
Yes.
Emerald smile and just tell you what, if you get the capital fast enough, I'll try and leave some for you.
Try and leave some with the dragon. Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, it'll be
I'll
fun.
leave you the hindquarters.
Well, by the time you're done with that, perhaps we'll have taken over this entire kingdom. We'll compare glory then.
There we go.
Take this. Don't need to blast the thing, and he shoves the map against your chest.
Hammer will take it, fold it up, and put it into his bag.
Right, off with you and your little contraption, he says, looking down at your mechanical horse.
Zoom.
Oh, you don't like her. The name's Betty.
I think you'll find that Betty is made of strange arcane things that I don't entirely trust as much as flesh and blood, he says, patting his actual horse.
He'll just laugh again and say, to be fair, Betty's also much better at breaking down doors than your horse.
Go on. Off. He says, not wishing to concede the argument.
I'm done
See
with
you again, sir. And he will take off.
You get a few of the other knights sort of slamming their fist to their chest as you head off. And a little good luck.
He will kind of put on his usual show, throwing out ice into the sky as he's going. Using like,
I am
more
constantly.
things for morale.
I am constantly going Reinhardt.
Yeah, it's like Reinhardt meets fucking Elsa.
Yeah.
Let it go! Let it go!
Although I am sort of picturing you firing ice bolts into the air like a fucking cowboy with 6 shooters on horseback.
6 shooters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn near.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you notice, he hasn't drawn a sword yet.
Right, hurrying things forward a bit because I am keeping an eye on time. And Ali always forgets just how long things actually take.
You mean how we drag things out?
I didn't say that.
Yeah, but it's the truth.
It takes a few days for each of you. Thankfully, Garibaldi's unit was only for about 5 hours ahead of Wolfslot when he was ordered to move ahead. And Blazebreaker, you've got a speedy mount. And I imagine you rest quick and easy. So, you're going to be about the same time. But Garibaldi, you do get there first. And what looks to be... You can see at a distance, because you're not going to fly straight there, I imagine. You're going to scope it out first.
Hell no. Nope.
You can see in the distance what looks like to be a... This isn't just an abandoned town. Most of the town is down to just the foundations now. It is old. It is long abandoned. You see rock walls left barely standing. The only structure that seems to be relatively intact is a old church. And give me some perception checks, please. One good one for you. Actually, your men will give you advantage on it. That's what will happen.
Okay. Advantage on a perception.
I'm guessing you also want one from me then.
Yes. Are you staying beside him?
Oh, jeez. I'm going to use my inspiration on that.
Go for it.
I'm going to stay near him, but not beside him.
Okay. Yep. Give me a roll as well.
Okay, that's far better.
Okay.
Very nice. Okay. Right. Garibaldi. Thing you notice, the church is lit. You can see the play of fire in the windows, candlelight. Fellow shadows, your elf eyes, cat eyes, Do see a figure moving. Unfortunately, stained glass windows aren't going to give you much more than actual shadow of the figure. It's very hard to make out who it is. But yeah, there's someone in there. Humanoid.
I'm looking at Vale. Do you see what I see?
Building.
Person inside.
You should check it out.
I'm holding up my hand for quiet, and then pointing back the way we came and towards the ground.
Okay, your men will do as you tell them. They back off a little bit, so it's not too. They basically make sure there is at least a little bit of a hill crest or bush line hiding their landing.
Vale, we're going to pull back for the moment. We need to report. I'm going to
Probably see a big
land
white
right,
speck coming into view now.
and I'm going to land with my group. Radio.
One of your men sort of like hurries over in a bit of a crouch and hands you the little magical device.
Command Shadow 3. Command Shadow 3.
Garibaldi, is that you?
It is. We have reached the objective marker. We have a single individual inside a church.
Is it that blasted dragon?
Can't tell. Can't see inside the church. The church is closed up and the windows seem to be intact. The rest of the town, however, is demolished. Permission to confront or speak to, or shall we wait?
Hold position for a moment. You got a couple more forces heading in. You're going to be joined by Ritter Blazebreaker and Captain Wolfslot.
How far ahead were we from these guys? Because we were traveling at full tilt.
Mm-hmm. Well, you would have had to rest as well.
Yeah.
Your force is only going to have like 5-10 feet more movement than Garibaldi's, than Wolf's rather.
So
Yeah.
I go fast. I have to wait for them.
Yes.
Okay. Roger, command. We'll hold position and keep an eye out on the area.
Few hours. Play some cards, and the familiar voice of the general goes silent.
I hand the radio back. All right, folks. We're feet on the ground for the time being. Rest up while you can. As the general said, play some cards if you have them. Grab a bite to eat. I'm going to be, and I point just slightly over about 100 feet away. There. You know what I'm going to be doing.
Is that fail, mate? Not.
And fail. Keep down. And I'm going to pull my rifle and I'm going to move over into that area and I'm going to take up a sniping position.
Okie What distance from the church are you holding?
I'm holding about 900 feet.
Okay.
Oh.
What are you doing, Fail?
Let me see. A short rest is defined as like 10 to 15 minutes, right?
1
Yep.
hour.
1 hour.
Did we actually get like a couple days here?
Yes,
Or
it's been a few days, so you would have
Okay.
gotten a long rest in.
Okay.
In that case, I'm going to slink into the shadows.
Okie Are you sinking into the shadows with a purpose?
I'm just gonna
of
assume my
moving forward,
staff's at
or
full
just
charges
hiding?
again.
Yeah, I cannot
Um,
actually have less gain.
I'm going to try and approach the building.
Okay, are you using your cloak?
I am not.
Okay, just a straight stealth check, then, please.
Okay.
Very nice. Okay, yeah. You are able to get. Give me a What would it be to check knowledge of a dragon? Would it be nature or arcana?
Let's see.
I
That's
think
hard.
Arcana.
Give me either one, you please.
I can see it
They
either way.
have the exact
Which-
same stat, so I'm just going to click Arcana because that's where my cursor was.
Okay, that's good enough. You are quite aware that a dragon of that age, they have a almost unnatural ability to sense people at a certain range. You feel it's going closer. Basically, if you get too close to that building, perhaps beyond the fencing, there's a good chance he will know you're there.
In that case, I will stay back out of that range and try to see if I can see anyone else, any other movement, anything else that.
You are able to get to about 70 feet away from the church itself, the actual building, staying beyond its little fence line, because there is a few old graves here and such. This is a little church where they bury people around it. And give me a perception check. Okay. So now that you're closer, you are able to maneuver yourself around. You can't see in still. Well, you can see the shapes moving about through the stained glass windowing. The door is unfortunately closed. But you do hear muttering. This deep voice sort of talking to itself. And he's just saying, "Death to spark it, death to spark it, death to spark it." And you hear someone else going, "Please, no, please, no." And then that is cut off with a familiar wet sound of, you would assume, someone's throat being slit. And then the thump of a body hitting the floor. Death to spark it, death to spark it, death to spark it. And you hear pacing and muttering.
Does that sound at all familiar? Like,
It's got a tinge of a Hexenreich accent.
I will actually slink back to the camp.
Okay. Garibaldi, give me a perception check.
With advantage or no?
Just as standard. Yeah, you do not see the cat moving.
Okay.
A few hours pass. You're able to make it back to camp. Do you wish to report your findings, or are you staying silent on them?
I will try to sneak up as close to the leader of this group as possible.
Okay, you go over to his little sniping position.
And then I'm going to tap him on the shoulder. The opposite shoulder.
As far as you were aware, Garibaldi, there was no one fucking near you.
There is the sudden tense and just like, all right, Vale, that had better be you.
Oh, you didn't shoot. That's good.
I'm glad this cat's dying with the rest of us.
Where have you been?
Oh, right over there. You know, the fence area.
Blink.
You
Garibaldi
didn't
just
see me?
Apparently
I'm
not.
easy.
All right, you weren't supposed to go there, but we can deal with that. What did you see? Did you hear anything? Anything we should know?
We might not have a lot of time.
Why do you say that?
I think he's running out of people.
He has hostages?
That might not be the word.
Shit. I'm rolling over. I am waving at my unit and doing the radio sign.
Yep. A person comes over to you with the radio.
Command, this is Shadow 3.
Yes. What is it, Garibaldi?
We may have confirmation that the target is here. However, it sounds like there may be a ritual going on.
Yeah, we've gotten reports just a half hour ago. Another team has found another site of a ritual that looks like it's already completed. Can you get eyes on this ritual?
Our skulker was not able to get close enough to get eyes on the ritual.
You'll know if we're close enough.
And I'm being informed that our target may know that we're here if we get too close.
Yes,
Swing slightly in front of you.
Well,
Permission
okay.
to remove.
You can actually hear him like tapping a pen on the table as if pondering it. Move into position and get ready to engage. Hold for command.
Right. I hand the radio back. Hand goes up.
They start to get ready to go into the air.
And I am pointing at the various commanders and pointing in different directions.
Okay, they will spread out in a proper formation.
And I'm doing 5 fingers out, 500 feet. Stay that far away.
They will start to surround the building at 500 feet.
Radio, you are with me.
Start.
You may need to kill him quickly. If it's a ritual, then any other casualties might help.
I understand that. That's why we're prepping to remove him. All right, you're with me, Vale? We're up. And I'm going almost straight up.
Okay. Right. Captain Wolf, Hedigan, and Usplas. You've been traveling a few days. You believe you're about half an hour out from the target town. When Wolf, one of your operators, comes up to you, sir, commands for you.
Go, command.
Wolf, how far?
30 minutes. Tops.
30 minutes. Right, faster. Can you put the R&D lot on the channel?
Looks around. Here's glass.
Yeah.
Over here, command wants to talk to you.
Okay.
Ferrofanax will move closer. With
Ah.
Right in Fairfax right now, so yeah.
I was
What?
not aware that I was not aware of her riding because I was away.
Mm-hmm.
So he would go up actually to Erskine then.
Yes. What is it?
Say again?
What was that, Commander?
Command wants to talk to you.
Okay, good. Let's put my hand up.
Let's go. Ferrofanax.
Hi. Yeah. Oh, put it on speaker.
All right. They found a ritual site to the east.
Was it at the location?
It was at one of the previous locations.
Oh.
Dead bodies around it. Seems to be they're reporting these 4 stone pillars seemingly formed out of the ground. Strange writings on them.
I look at Fairfax. That doesn't ring anything to me, I don't think. Does it?
Ferrofanax frowns and shakes her head.
I'm not really familiar with his research. Current one, anyway.
I'm not in its detail now. Apparently, our boys tell us that these stone pillars invulnerable.
I was going to ask if they could break.
No, they've tried quite hard, in fact, but nothing so much. The most they got was a tiny chip, and that was with what do you call it? The most he could do. One of our strongest mages went full bore on it.
Blew himself up.
Well, that is very upsetting, sir. Have they tried anti-magic fields or dispelling?
Afraid doesn't work.
All right.
They're not actually getting any magical readings from the pillars themselves.
I was just wondering if it'd make it easier to break them. I wasn't sure if they were magically protected.
Doesn't seem so.
Okay. Well, we're en route to the location. How far are we?
You're about half an hour out.
Okay, we're about a half hour out from.
Yes. Well,
location.
they believe they have seen Addison Nathaniel doing another little sneaky business in their church there. So do hurry.
All right. Well.
If you see any more of these pillars, try and figure them out.
If it's related to his research, sir, is there any markings on them?
Yeah, 1 second. You can hear him sort of yelling at somebody called Jenkins in the background.
Poor
Jenkins! Jenkins! Did you say there was writing? Right, yes. No, that's okay. They don't know if it's writing or not, but there are markings, and apparently not very pleasant to look at.
Yeah, do not have anyone cast language comprehension on those if they're related to his artifact. That would be very bad.
Okay, I'll relay that.
Assuming, because I think
Commander,
yeah.
Does anyone hear timpanis at all?
What was that?
Is there a sound of timpanis being played?
Tiffany's?
Yes. Drums.
No.
Okay.
What a stupid question. And you hear the line go dead.
Well, that was helpful. Here's your little phone back, or doohickey.
Yep.
There you go. Sounds like we're going to be going into something then.
All
Can
right.
your men go any faster?
They will go as fast as they can. Verifinaxis, go ahead. You can. We'll try to keep up as best we can. It doesn't sound like we'll get into any issues until we arrive.
She looks at you, and then there is that reaching of a talon very carefully. It's not aggressive, as if she wants to grab you. Your men can follow.
Yes.
And she takes hold of you and then starts to go at her full speed.
I need to sit back down.
Yes. Right, and
Shadowfax, show us the meaning of speed.
You can see the church in the distance, and you can see a ring of your forces, thankfully, surrounding it. Not only that, you can see a large white dragon approaching from the west towards the church. Fail and Garibaldi, you can also see the dragon coming into view. And if you give me a perception check, I take it you are not trying to be stealthy or such, Blazebreaker?
I don't think I have a stealthy bone in my body at all.
Yeah. Wow. Okay,
I like
have
to think-
advantage though.
Made it in without you noticing.
I want to
Garibaldi,
believe that
advantage.
I want to believe that he basically just has one hand in the air, spraying ice as he goes.
That's good enough.
He's not doing that when he's trying to approach.
You can also see the Knights Champion approaching.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh,
you
my.
definitely see that, Fail. You can see the fucking tiniest specks of of imperfection on his face.
Nice.
And before long, you are all able to meet up. Thankfully,
Damn it, if
Blazebreaker's
you
prestige
didn't
can
know
take
we
him
were
into the
here-
air.
You didn't know we were here. He does now.
Actually, let me do. Where is it? Because white dragons aren't terrible at stealth. She has advantage, so she's fine. Right.
She looks like a
Yeah.
fluffy cloud as she comes in.
At a certain point, she stops flapping and simply starts to glide towards you.
If you want, I could attempt to stealth.
See, the big problem is
You gotta-
that he's
Yeah,
just
go for it.
yelling, "Let it go" the whole time.
Wow. Okay.
I'll admit, better than I expected.
Well, thankfully, this is 500 feet out, so he does not know this.
Mhm.
And yeah, you are able to get up to Major Carl Garibaldi, all of you, and you are all grouped up.
I will disembark from Our
Mhm.
Lady and nod to Mr. Wolf as I do. And I go, I believe we let her take the lead.
Quite. Yes.
Where do you want us, ma'am?
Well, they found him.
Do tell us, Garibaldi, what have you seen?
We have one person in the church. We have heard what we know is it sounds that there is a ritual. There has been one person terminated inside the building, and another person has a local accent to our capital. We do
Okay.
believe this is him.
Right, well, let's go have a nice word with him then.
If
We'll see if we
it's a
can-
ritual, we probably want to avoid people dying.
As you are saying people, there is another scream from the church.
like
I
that.
think that's already happening. Shall we
Should
move as a group, ma'am, and perhaps leave,
Behind me, yes. Wolf, can you keep your forces in the air in case he tries to run?
Would you like a vanguard, ma'am?
You as well, Garibaldi. Yes, at my arm, if you wouldn't mind, Blazebreaker.
Apologies, but
It would be my pleasure.
you might actually be a problem.
What?
You do large damage, big boom, many die.
I'm not going to hurt him.
we're going to negotiate?
We're talking
That
to him.
won't work well at all. He's crazy.
I'm sure he will decide to have a familiar face, and kind words will bring him around.
Definitely make him crazier.
She's
Always
actually-
does.
There is that low draconic rumbling of frustration from her.
I'm going to say Garibaldi.
He looks.
Do not let your cat bother the lady too much.
My hand goes up in a balled fist, and I hold up 5 fingers, then 4, and then I start backing up, and I grab the cat.
Okay.
Sorry, we're
I'm
racist,
signaling-
and that's what's gonna happen.
I'm actually signaling my group to back up to
Yeah.
900 feet to create a even bigger perimeter.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
and-
whisper in his ear. This is gonna go very badly.
Yes,
know
it is.
Wolf, while all this discussion is going on, he's sort of just been hanging back,
Mhm.
and then he will reach up to the earpiece thing.
Mhm.
Command.
Yes.
Open
Who is this?
feed. This is Wolf.
Yes. Go.
Open feed for you if things go awry.
Okay, we're listening, and at that, Ferrophanax will start to glide down towards the church entrance.
I will.
As they're doing that, actually, they watch Hammer just touch part of his chest for a second, and he's hitting the 6 people that are around, and he's just taking a guess on which one of the Uskolds with telepathic bond. Unlimited distance, we all can actually transfer thoughts to each.
Very nice.
Okay.
Okay.
I am.
And I'm calling for my radio, real quick.
Channel's busy.
Somebody is keeping the line busy right now. He can't call him right now. That's the problem with keeping the feed going. Oh no.
Yeah.
He should go in and solve the problem.
I
Big
am
heroes.
going to motion to Helligen. Let's not leave her alone. I'm going to nod to Blazebreaker and follow suit with the lady.
Okay. And
We're going to give
Wolf.
her a chance, and then if things go bad, we're going to terminate him.
How do you say that?
Hmm?
What did you direct that towards, Toby?
Oh,
Me.
I'm directing that towards the cat.
Veil.
Okay.
Right, and let's move you guys to-
Wolf will turn to face Garibaldi and tap his earpiece and follow Varanthrax. He was present during that conversation, so
Right.
you can roll it inside if you.
I've moved the auto map. She has drifted
Right.
down. Those that want to be on the map range, put yourself around her.
Crap, that's the thing I forgot to do.
Tokens.
Tokens.
Yes.
Let's see. Shadows. Just pull out your little silhouette person, and I'll put a mark on it to distinguish it as you.
Cool. Oh, does that? Yeah, it does actually pull.
I don't, since I'm 900 feet out, I don't think I'm on the map.
Yeah, you're off the map. Just
Yeah.
keep yourself at the edge, so we can
Yep.
use your turn ordering.
There, I guess.
Are you hanging back with
Oh yeah, is that him? Okay. I can't see names.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's no, that's not everyone. I've just counted. It was plus twice. God damn it. Who are we missing?
Um,
Probably Blackie.
Blackie.
Yes. Are you there, Blackie?
He's probably out.
Mentioned earlier about something
Yeah.
with a dog.
Okay.
Just
We
put him in
will
between
leave.
me.
Yep.
I'm flanking him.
I want to just mark. Okay, you get red. Hat then, and Blackie gets
Green.
green.
I could probably get you a picture if that helps. Actually.
Nah, it's all right. Okay. Ferrophanax lands, and then she's going to take on humanoid form, which means I just do that because I'm lazy. Swoop. And she's going to start heading towards the church. This is your opportunity to move into any position you want, or you can stay by her.
I will stay with her.
Stay in by her.
Okay.
Stay by.
Notably, he will be drawing his shield and starting his focus on Shield of Faith.
I am going to do the weirdest thing anybody sees, but the two else classes start handing gear back and forth very quickly because I need my staff back.
Okay.
She had my staff.
Right. You can all move up beside her.
Mhm.
She's going to open the church doors, or you can stay behind her
Mhm.
and step in. And then I go. How do I? There we go. Nope, that there.
Ooh.
Oh,
Allie,
it's also-
super fancy.
Okay. And
Oh, that's the door.
Jim. Yeah.
And Hammer is making a point of being directly at her side.
As you step in, it's a gruesome sight. There are a multitude of dead bodies on the floor just past the pews. Strange writings in blood are on the floor, and it's odd because as the blood from the bodies pulls towards those writings, they seem to curve around them as if the blood itself is making sure that the strange lettering isn't obscured. And if you all want to give me perception checks. Go ahead and give me another one, plus.
I waited to see if I got to,
Yeah.
because I know I have two characters here.
Okay. Right. Your eyes linger over the writing for a moment, and it hurts to look at. it makes your head pound. It makes your eyes itch, and your gaze quickly goes away. And it looks like there's about 4 dead people, and you have arrived just in time for him to be slitting the throat of a 5th, whose body he promptly drops to the floor, and he does not seem to notice you all. He's just muttering to himself still. Death to spark it, death to spark it. And upon seeing this, Ferrophanax is going to look at you all sort of worriedly and start moving forward. Alasna? Alasna, dear? Can you hear me? And he is leaning down and dipping his hand into the blood. Alasna, darling, stop, please. We're here to take you home. Oh god, I just stretched the dragon. There we go. And he starts to scrawl more on the floor, still muttering to himself. Death to spark it, death to spark it, death to spark it. And she glances back at you, Osglass. A familiar voice, another one?
Alice, nothing all. We're here. You're late for our discussions, you know? Kept me
There
waiting.
is actually a pause in his muttering. And he looks up towards you. His face looks so tired. His eyes are sunken, withdrawn. And this is not the majestic figure you once knew. This is haggard, stressed.
Remember tea and papers?
Osglass,
Yes,
you've
this
come
class.
to see my work.
Sorry. Sorry, I fuzzed there a little bit.
It's okay, Becky.
Is this part of your research?
Yes. And as even as he starts to smile and nod, those little yeses are tinged almost with sobs. Yes, come look.
I will hesitantly both walk up there. Giving a sidelong glance to Verthanax as I do.
While they're doing this, yes, Hector?
Could I possibly cast a quick spell?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hamir's also
Fireball.
not
Okay.
That's on myself.
On yourself. Good to know. And you move up Blazebreaker as well?
Yep.
He seems to just be ignoring you entirely. Same with you, Wolf, and even Ferrophanax. He's like, look, I figured it out. This symbol right here. He points at one of the ones already scrawled.
Oh, it hurts to look
This-
at. What is it?
Yes, I don't know the words for it. And he seems to grow briefly angry at that, but it has so much meaning more than we can put into our pitiful little language. But the real trick, see, it tells you that death and life, it's all involved. And he sort of grasps his hair a bit. It's easy. It's easy to wake up. It's easy to awaken. And he finishes scrawling a symbol on the ground with the blood from the body he just killed. And your stomachs lurch.
Oh, that's not okay. Oh, it hits both of us.
A media group or everyone?
Actually, the people outside would feel this as well, even 900 feet out.
Damn.
Character, because I don't know how much I.
Blackie,
Where am I?
to recap, you are.
You're probably with the dragon.
You
up
can
here.
you can choose. I'm not going to force it, but basically they have found the traitor dragon at the church, And Ferfanax, Usglass, Wolf, and Blazebreaker, and potentially you have moved in to talk to him.
If the dragon is winning, I'd be in.
Okay, you are the little silhouette token with the green marker down at the bottom. You can move yourself in.
There it is. I'm like, that's the wrong way. Like, where? I've been clicking on every icon.
I tried
token I
to
could
resolve it. I gave myself a proper icon for a moment.
Yeah. Okay, and as your stomachs lurch, from the ground, growing almost organically, despite being very clearly made of an obsidian-like stone, 4 pillars in each corner, just before the pews and towards the back of this immediate section, start to emerge from the ground.
You did this at the other site. You made the pillars. What are they
Yes,
for?
yes. Oh, they're here to wake them.
To wake who?
And
The dreamer. And as he says that,
I look back at her with
behind
an axe. Like, oh shit, what's going on here?
she looks vaguely horrified. Not because of what he's saying, but just because of the state of him.
Mm-hmm.
She's clearly more concerned with her friend than what's actually happening. And these pillars do have strange carvings on them. You're guessing it's a language, even though it doesn't appear to be any structuring to like the ordering symbols. They seem to be scattered around it. But each pillar is covered in them. And they soon pierce the top of the building.
Wolf mutters in the earpiece command.
Wolf, what's going on in there?
There's actually distortion.
Okay.
He should fight, quick, or run.
Yeah, oh, look, it's starting. And he gestures right in front of you, Osglass. And that sickening feeling grows as reality starts to whoop and ripple in the air before you. The air itself seeming to tear.
At that point, Wolf is going to shout out and say, "All back now."
I will remind that all of us, well, one of the Yost classes plus the dragon, do have the telepathic bond.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so he would do that. It's like, fall back now. This
I'll
has
ask them
gone
all.
on far too long.
Come back with us.
No.
Come back, please. Come with me.
Galdir? Garibaldi.
Garibaldi.
Garibaldi. Are you keeping eye on this?
I just saw 4 pillars come out of the top of this
that's
building.
What you saw.
Okay. So
What is going on in there?
I can't hear you.
Question: Is it a telepathic bond? Does it extend to Garibaldi?
Yes.
Okay.
Then you can relay through that.
Pillars arose. Target is likely compromised.
Do any of you follow that suggestion to move back?
I'll say one of the S classes is going to hesitate, and the other one's pulling the other back.
Henry is actually going to step forward and put himself in between the S class of them and
Emily,
as you try to step forward, you find yourself being pushed back by. You can't really tell. This rift is widening, and it seems to be almost pushing reality along with it.
oh, that's not
That space is pushing forward. So I need you all to move back 2 squares. The fuse start to splinter. And
here.
through that rift, a strange shifting mass starts to emerge. Let's give this a thing. Blah, blah, blah. My apologies. 1 second with this.
No, it's fine.
Wolf will dash towards the door and give a signal to Garibaldi.
Garibaldi
Sam,
sees that.
If you can move one of the Skolds back, Hammer would actually kind of push one back to still try and get himself in front of them.
Okay.
I see the signal. Is Wolf's teams anywhere nearby?
I assume they are outside, keeping an eye on the building as they were asked as well.
Yeah,
However, I've got to interrupt you because this is happening immediately.
sure.
What you see emerge from this portal is a massive clot of luminous black-green protoplasm almost, surging forward. Eyes and mouths and limbs forming and dissolving from its mass in a churning storm. The smell of rot and corruption assaults you, and equally disgusting is the squishy, unwholesome sound of fleshy pustules and tissue forming and breaking apart. It is a sickening sound of birth, growth, and decay all at once. And this is what you see emerging.
Blah.
Oh, that's not okay.
Okie dokie. Wolf is spinning around, taking aim.
I
And it's
see him
everybody.
spinning to take aim.
You would not be able to see him. He's inside the building. Oh, actually, he's at the
I'm
doorway.
out the door.
Yeah,
that
you
was
can see him.
My point.
Wolf,
Fire!
All right, and it's
I'm
everybody.
hitting.
Bring up the init thing, Ellie, I guess.
Oh, my button.
I'm trying to get a shot off at least from
Nope.
Garibaldi first.
Nope.
All right.
Allie knows exactly what I would be ordering right now. I'd be ordering that building annihilated.
Damn it.
That actually works out really nice.
Okay, is that everybody?
No, I'm
Ferris
just
for
making
next.
sure I have everything set up properly for my initiative.
Okie dokie.
Okay, cool.
Right. Next for next. And
Sam, I was trying to say this before, but could you move the middle Earth class down one square? Because Hammer would have, when we got pushed back, still tried to push her back to get in front of her.
I wasn't moving farther back than I was being pushed. I'm trying.
I
to
mean,
call my
he
friend.
was going to forcibly try and move you.
And
Like he's trying to forcibly put himself in between.
Alright, well, she would have moved to the side probably.
Actually, she wanted to stay close to the one they're trying to reason with, I think, rather than cower behind you.
I'll move that one back, I guess. Oh, that one will be back.
That's basically all he was trying to do, is basically pull that one back.
Because that was the one in the middle, and that's one you want to pull back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
He really doesn't know which one's which, or doesn't know anything about the magic, so as far as he's concerned, they're both a full person.
Yep.
Counter.
So he's doing his best to protect.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get on counter. Do I need to put anything into my calculation?
Down in calculation +1.
+1. Okay.
Then add.
Add. Right.
Right.
Okay.
And sort, I guess, once you have everybody in.
There we go.
Cool.
Okay. Magus Eliza Fontos Glass.
Yes, actual Magus Eliza Vonus Glass.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hate myself for this. I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna try to contain it.
Okay.
I
Wall of
am
Force.
casting Wall of Force, concentration. I can make a up to 10 by foot thingies.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to start trying to encircle this thing as much as I can. I think I might be able to do it.
Each panel must be. Oh, was vision.
I want to make a Steven Universe dome.
Yeah.
That large.
Made up. 10, yeah. No. 10. You can do 10 of those, right?
Yeah.
10. 20. 30. 40. 50.
Or at least I'll do as much
yeah.
of it as I can because the other's glass will
You
finish it.
can completely encircle it. You can't get it completely high enough.
All right, well, I'm blocking it as much as I can, and I am basically locking it down. If I need to leave an opening, I'll leave it towards our side. I'd rather make sure that he's safe.
Do you want to leave an opening for your own combatants?
Yeah, I'll leave an opening right here.
Okay.
I'll leave an opening there, and then I'll do that, and then I'll look back and go, copy, don't get in trouble, and do 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 do.
Okay.
That's my turn.
All right. Captain Gunfla Wolf.
Taking aim. He's going to save that for later. I think he's just going to get shots off. All right.
Yeah, but that's the best thing I can think of to do. Sorry, I don't want that thing moving.
This is a smart move.
Oh, how many shots is that? 3 shots?
2 normal shots, 1 bonus
And
action shot.
1 action, yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Should be actually normal, so 26.
They all hit
24.
anyway.
Okay.
Also, I put a thing on me so I know that I have concentration going on that character.
Okay. Okay.
And 2.
All right. So, the bullets themselves, you see them impact it, and they don't seem to hold much effect. They hurt it, but you feel like they're not actually hurting much. The force damage, however, does ripple through it, and its amorphous form sort of ripples and shudders.
Okay. Free action, then I'm just going to say to Garibaldi, focus, force damage. Bullets do minimal damage. And I'll end my turn. And just yell at everyone else to get out.
Okay. All right. On to Fellow Shadows. You can hear gunfire and such starting from the building.
All right. I am going to rush at full speed ahead.
Tabaxi speed.
Let me see. Yeah, I guess that's unless the winged boots are faster. Oh, it's equal to my walking speed. All right. In that case, I will, just rush at full tabaxi speed ability. So that puts me at double my speed. So that's 100 plus a dash action. So that's 200.
Allie?
Yes.
I just read the imbued rounds.
Yep.
So my rounds are magical for the purpose of overcoming resistance.
Still the same.
Okay.
Yep. Don't worry. I know my own class. I remember that.
I was just double checking.
Yep.
And
besides, you all have magical weapons anyway.
Yeah.
Just to confirm, if I have cunning action, I can take 2 dash actions a turn?
Yeah.
All right, so 300 feet closer.
Nice. Okay. I'm going to be generous. You were held at 900, but I'm going to say, just for the sake of being fair and getting you into the combat, you have moved about 400 feet closer. You're going to get there in a couple of turns.
Sadly, I can't do quite as much next turn.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry. I'm going to be nice to you. Okay. Major Carl Garibaldi.
Okay. As my chatter, fist goes up. I bring it down. I'm calling down the hammer of God on the building.
Okay.
And then I am firing my rifle in the area where the columns came up.
Okay. I will say the mustered force of fire will puncture a fuckload of holes and large holes through the roofing and the side of the building, giving a bunch of sight lines. Go ahead and give me a disadvantage roll with your rifle.
right. Also, I am taking a -5 on this.
Mhm.
So whatever it rolls,
The
will have
sharpshooter.
to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disadvantage, so 22.
Oh.
That misses. You're doing a blind shot through where you expect things to be happening, but unfortunately, it pierces
Okay.
through the ceiling.
And
Impact.
also it's immune to all damage from all sides with that one tiny hole.
I don't know that there's a spell
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's saying that's probably leading into it. Also, that blocks the ethereal plane, by the way. So yay.
So I'm since I do have heavy weapons guy, I'm taking another shot
Yep.
at disadvantage. So 18.
I'm afraid it would hit, but you hear the sound of sort of magical shielding.
Son of a bitch!
Okay, is that your turn?
Yeah, that's all I can really do.
Okay, Lieutenant Hilligan.
I need an icon, another icon, something that looks like a weapon.
Okay, 1 second. Assets. I will give you
I'm
this,
assuming
and
you're
I will
gonna put
give you
it to
control
that
of it.
side or that side, so that way the paladin can still get up there.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not physical force, so.
Yeah.
Controlled by Halligan. Save.
Okay. So Hagen goes, I don't think that's friendly, and sword of pure force just peers, and
You can technically put it above it if you so wish.
okay, it's out of the way. It's just the thing. I'm just casting it as second level, not doing above. It's god,
Wiggle, wiggle.
probably. Whoosh. But then I am going to use my action to.
Oh, I got 4 attacks. Shit.
How do you get 4 attacks?
It's only if something deals damage to you.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's his magic weapon.
Oh, okay.
I should be looking at at my first sheet so I can actually compare my freaking cantrips easily. Yeah, actually, I think. Where are you? No, because I have a better chance of missing with that one. I am just going to use. And he tries to freeze.
Okay, that hits. All right, 7.
Wow.
Oh, hey. Oh, I'm sorry. So
I rolled as many almost as all the ones.
this ray of frost impacts it, and the cold doesn't even seem to make it flinch. Doesn't seem to cause it a silence
bother
reference.
it anyway.
You gather it has cold immunity.
Okay. Don't hit it with cold.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh no.
Blaze Breaker.
I don't think it. Well, he's got weights around that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I'm hoping.
I have a sword.
I have a
I
smite.
have a sword.
I have a smite. I
Okay.
think is the proper term.
Um,
too.
And we're gonna go 1. Actually, he's gonna move back to there.
Okay, is that your turn?
Yes.
All right, Blazebreaker.
They watch as Blazebreaker draws his sword, points it forward, and then 3 more of him appear, casting mirror.
Nice.
Casting mirror image. Yeah,
I can do that too.
nice.
I'll do that
Okey-dokey.
soon.
You're aware I got the idea.
It's good use of your action.
Mhm.
And then he'll just basically have his shield up and ready.
Okie dokie. Alright. The ancient black dragon is just going to look at the thing that has been summoned, mutter a few things to himself, and cast a spell.
No.
You're going to try and counter spell this? Do I have to paste the information?
Can I roll Arcana?
Yes. Roll Arcana to identify what he's doing.
Both characters have to do it because they both could be doing this. So.
It sounds like a teleport spell. Not quite what you're used to, but it has a lot of the same infections.
Leviosa.
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay, count spell. What level are you casting this at?
I'm casting it at base because I don't know what level his spell was at, since it's not something I know. You said it was so.
Would
so
Arcana reveal the level of a spell being cast?
I
think.
In theory, it'd probably reveal at least what the base level you'd have to use it as, because I'm pretty sure, like,
Yeah.
it's like base 7.
Technically, the DC identification is the is whatever number plus the spell, the level of the spell.
Okay,
So my guess is
1
this
second.
probably would actually tell you.
Yeah.
Let me.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yep. You know he is casting it at level 8.
Oh fuck. It's a caster check for me to get it otherwise. So.
Mhm.
It's ability check. So
Yeah, it's an ability check, and I think it's fuck it. Prime Moose Glass burning an 8th.
Okay. He hears you starting the counter spell, and with an annoyed growl, counters with his own level 8 counter spell.
Alright, so regular Ooze Glass is going to try and counter his counter spell. or Coffee is going to counter his counter spell.
technically, she has 2 reactions to his one.
Yep, and
Right.
That is going to be another level 8, so both level 8s are gone for me.
Right. He gives you a very, very annoyed look, both of you. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. He goes down the sight.
He didn't say the magic word.
Picking on the poor insane dragon. Right.
I'm looking.
As it was Gus.
I'm just double checking my movement speed of the broom because I need to know that because I'm assuming
I will require checks for you to fly it through here, by the way.
Okay. Alright, it won't be easy to fly in the big tall cathedral?
Not with the giant pillars that have now formed up in the way. And the giant, monstrous driving thing.
Alright, well...
And its box.
I mean, it's in a box. I've boxed that, but...
Don't worry.
Alright, so what's my writing check? Because I didn't know there was a writing check for the broom.
Your riding check, your choice of acrobatics or athletics.
So neither of those things. Got it. Yeah,
You
sure.
have a decent acrobatics.
Yeah,
You're
I'll do an acrobatics check with fake.
Go for it. Yeah, you make it.
Okay, I make it so I can do my full street. She goes 60, so she's gonna go to here. That's my move, and then second verse same as the first because I love this man. I do, but I need to stop this man. I know he's fucking old, don't I?
He's very old.
Fucking A. I'm between Wall of Force and Mental Prison because I'm worried he's just going to teleport again.
Quick. Disable him
Yeah,
the easy
I'm going
way.
to Wall of Force
Fireball
around
him.
the fucker. Because this doesn't target him, so I can just do it around him. I'm just going to Wall of Force him in.
That's
wait.
a concentration, so the other one will go away.
Nope, this is the other Ooze Glass.
Oh, this is the other one.
So this one is casting a Wall
He has
of
2
Force.
slots.
Okay. You go ahead and build that as you want to.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'm gonna make this one out of blue. So that way it's a nice little little area. I'm just gonna give him that much space. He doesn't need more.
It's close.
Actually, we should make that a little smaller so he's not tempted to turn into a dragon. Because that'll hurt. A nice tight little cage would be good for the dragon, right?
So basically, around his square.
Right there.
Okay.
Now,
Anything
don't
else?
be running off. We just met up again. And that'll be my turn.
Yeah, he just gives you a sort of vaguely sorrowful look. Despairing.
Despairing, like he really wanted to leave.
You get the feeling it's not to do with that.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Oh, no. Okay. The amorphous creature easily squeezes through this tiny gap
It's a squid.
as it can move through a space as narrow as 1 foot wide.
Oh, well, I'm glad I left that opening for you guys. Bad plan.
And then it's going to... Oh, yeah, it's actually part of the... Okay. Oh, it regens that. Okay. Right, and then it lets out a horrible, horrible eldritch wail. It chooses all of you. Toby, you are fine, and Hatden, you are fine.
Yay,
You are
just
far
did
enough away.
something.
Hey.
So DC 17 Wisdom save, please.
Is it magic?
What is?
Is it spells?
A
It's
frighten?
it's an inherent magical ability. Yes.
Okay, so it's not a spell. Okay, got it.
It's not a spell.
So that's prime use class, and then I'll do secondary use class.
Okay. Do you have anything that gives you advantage, or is it just standard?
It's just standard. I'm just hitting the button. Sorry.
Does this have anything to do with
No,
being frightened, Allie?
I'm
Yes, it's a
Gonna
frightened
use-
effect.
I'm gonna use my inspiration, I think.
Okay.
Actually, wait. Didn't I have something else goofy? Hold on.
You're really being frightened.
Yuck.
Yep. So you're fine. You feel it shake you, Marcus. This is a horrible, horrible sound. Something. This is one of the worst things you've ever heard. But you hold fast.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it affects it or not, but since the dragon's within 10 feet of me, it has advantage of it because I have the sword drawn.
Oh, nice. Okay, let me roll for
Oh.
dragon.
I thought dragons were immune if you're that age. Maybe not.
She's only an adult.
Okay.
Okay. So she still fails. Okay. Are you rerolling, Becky? You said.
Yeah, I'm gonna reroll. It helps if I hit the button.
Okay. So Eliza.
Both Elizas?
Yep, both Elizas. It's a DC 17.
Yeah.
I'm failing then, so I'm rolling 2d4.
You're immune to
Okay.
fear, right?
I am not immune to fear,
Oh.
but I have favor.
Oh, Gunther was
Favored
immune
by
to
the
fear.
gods.
That's right. Yeah.
So I
Okay, yeah, go for it.
after I find out if I fail.
You only need like a 5. Hey, okay. You briefly feel yourself wanting to run, but the less mortal part of you, the part that is a little linked with something special, keeps you in place.
Special boy.
Rust glasses, though, you want to run. As does,
I want to run
Frozen.
directly from this, right?
Yep.
There's not a door out here, so this is a problem for me.
Run to the corner.
Maybe they shot a hole in the roof.
There are a fuckload of holes in this building now.
Spikes did make one.
You could get out through a hole in the ceiling.
All right. Well, I'll do that on my turns.
Yeah.
Turns.
Do.
I am really sad because I lost both illusory dragon spells because I decided to stop him from teleporting.
Oh, and then it will continue its action. It's going to lash out at you, Blazebreaker, with this.
Alright.
I believe that's a miss.
very much. Actually, it hasn't shown up for me yet.
There's 7.
Yeah.
Oh, that's because I've got it set to GM.
I was just saying, you just GM roll.
Oh, that's why you guys didn't see the screen either. Well, just to get that paste.
Ah,
And here is the pseudopod.
Yep, that's a miss.
Okay. The next one will lash out at Ferrofenax,
ow.
and that hits her.
Oof.
Okay, she takes 18 bludgeoning. It's going to choose to do slashing. You see this pseudopod briefly sharpen its mass condensing into a blade.
Oh my.
Oh, actually, if you're immune to fear, you still have to make it.
Oh wow.
Creature immune to the frightened condition by virtue
Oh,
of
yes,
spell
that's
or
right.
class ability has it suppressed for a
Press
minute.
for 1
Just
minute.
make
Yes.
saving throw normally.
So go ahead and make that, Marcus.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, and all right. So Marcus, you're running as well on your turn. Right, and now Ferrofenax needs to make a strength or dex save. She's going to choose dex. Oh, surprising. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. Wait, is she large? Oh, she's in human form. Okay. So you see Ferrofenax take this slashing blow from this pseudopod, which then engulfs her and pulls her in towards it.
Mm.
Okay. And then its final blow will be at, let's see. This is Halligan. Oh, actually, one. At this Usglas. Oh!
Also,
I think you're fine.
Which one?
Top Usglas.
Topos class?
That's right, I didn't see anything.
Topos class has an AC of 18.
Well, it's auto miss anyway. It's a critical one in combat.
Critical one.
Yay! I didn't know if I had advantage on its attack.
No. Okay. And that is its turn. And what was that, Blackie?
No, I thought you were targeting the one by me. And I was like, I'm not seeing circles if you're doing circles, Allie. And then you said the top one. So
Okay. That's and to Ferrofenax's turn, in fact. Yeah. Okay, she takes roll 66 acid damage at the start of her turn.
Sad I don't get my illusory dragon now.
53. And she is going to try and get out of this. Strength. Athletics check. She's only got strength, so straight. Oh god, she's trapped still. Okay. That's her turn. Top of the round.
Is she still technically within 10 feet of me?
Yes.
Then she would have advantage.
Oh.
I am going to let the.
Then she, in fact, is able to call out.
Hey,
I'm doing that.
Let's move that briefly.
And then, now, Frightened says I cannot move towards them, and I have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while in line of sight.
Well, source of fear is within line of sight.
Yeah, well, source of fear is in line of sight. So, yeah, I will. Since I dropped my thing, I'm going to cast Mental Prison on the creature.
Okie
And then
Okay.
I'm also moving the fuck out.
Okie. Let's put those there. Let's see. Right, this is a magical effect, so it gets advantage.
Yep.
It's an int save, yeah?
Yep, and
Yep.
save. Please roll low.
Oh, it
Okay.
chooses to pass.
Okay. On a
So
success,
it takes half damage.
No, on success, it takes the 29 damage.
Okay, 29.
If it had succeeded, it would continue to take the damage.
if it failed.
Okie dokie.
But on a successful one, you still take the damage. If you're immune, you still take the damage.
Mhm.
It's amazing.
Okay.
I love that spell.
It's the
Okay.
extra effect that is the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Save.
So, okay, so that is my turn. I moved, and I am eating mental person out of my list. So.
Okay. Wolf.
Okay, I'm a little confused because it says I'm suppressed for a minute. So
Yes,
I
you-
haven't.
Your immunity to frighten is suppressed for a minute.
Which means you're frightened for the next 10
Oh.
rounds.
Okay.
Well, at the end of each
And
turn,
also,
you need to
yes,
save.
you also, Sam, you would have had to roll to see if you can
All right.
shake that fright.
For which is a what roll? A wisdom.
That
Wisdom.
And it's
Yep,
disadvantage
wisdom,
because
DC
it's an
17.
ability score or an ability check. So I don't
Yeah.
get that.
No, ability checks are different than
Oh,
Oh,
saves.
okay.
Yes, saves are different.
I still fail.
Yeah.
I still-
Right, so you are frightened for this round, Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
Disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while this thing
Yeah.
is within your line of sight and you can't move close to it willingly.
Alrighty. We'll go ahead and take shots at disadvantage. That'll be shot. Ooh.
Yep, that's hit and hit.
Sorry.
And a miss.
Oof. Think. It's an auto miss. Never mind. It's damage. I reroll. Doop. Doop.
Okay.
Nice. And I screwed it.
8. Okay. Once again, the bullets themselves don't seem to do too much to it, but the force has full effect.
And I'm going to do 2 of those.
Okay.
And then I'm going to move my 35. 1, 2, 3. 7.
Also, I do
And-
apologize, Kronos. I would have had to roll to see if I could attack you anyway. I forgot to.
And I will relay to Garibaldi from last position due north.
You are still frightened.
Yeah.
Right. Fearless Shadows.
Give Garibaldi normal.
You moved 400 last turn.
Yeah, since you
Yes,
boosted
I was
up
generous. I'm going to say you can do 200. You basically be able to enter the battlefield next turn.
yeah, be able to do
Yeah.
50 with the dash. Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
giving me a boost.
I'm just going to give you. Don't worry about the actual movement. Next turn
Yeah.
you'll be on the battlefield.
Okay.
I am a generous GM when using Fear to the Mind.
In that case, I'm going AFK temporarily as we go through other.
All right, Garibaldi.
Toby.
Sorry, I was muted and I was talking. I have been given firing directions from Wolf.
And you could probably also maneuver to actually try and fire through one of the holes in the building.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing on the outskirts. And I'm continuing having the team continue to pummel the shit out of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And then I am going to take, using his directions, I'm going to try and hit this whatever's in there again.
Yep, go for it.
So I'm still disadvantaged or normal?
No, normal now.
Okay. And I'm taking my -5.
Mm-hmm. Okay, hit.
Okay. Since I hit, I am also declaring I'm using artillery shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I am dragging this up to level 4.
Okay.
So first, because it was the big shot, and that's going to be 27 piercing damage. And then this is at level 4. And an additional 22 force damage.
Okay. Doing a second shot.
Yes. And I gotta go back here. That will be a miss because I can't hit on an 18.
No, that hits.
Oh, that actually hits.
Oh
Okay.
wait, it drops it down to 18. That is
Yeah.
a dead-on hit.
Oh.
AC
Okay, so
22
I'm
then, huh?
AC 18.
Oh, AC 18. Okay.
so I am dropping another artillery shot on it.
Mhm.
Level 4.
Okay, half piercing.
And because it is a vorpal weapon, it removes resistance to piercing.
It does.
No, unfortunately, this is a bit more than that.
Okay, no, I was just making mention of it.
Yeah.
It was the same thing with imbued rounds.
Uh,
Okay, so yeah, that kind of low roll, but an additional 14 force, 17 force damage overall.
Okay. Right, is that your turn?
I am actually going to move in.
Okay.
So
how many feet do you move around?
I move 55.
Nice.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. All right. Hilligan.
This thing isn't from here, right?
It's definitely not from here. At least you're assuming so.
I am doing this to it.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So I make a spell melee attack against it.
Very nice, that hits.
It has to make a charisma DC 20 save,
Nice.
or be teleported back to another plane of existence.
You feel you almost have it, but its body shudders and it seems to keep itself grounded.
Damn it.
Actually, do I?
As an aside, Lucky, didn't you fail the wisdom save on the thing? Oh no, you
Nope.
passed with the other.
He passed.
Yeah, never mind. Just checking.
Trying to remember if I have 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's quickens my 4th. Damn. Do I have any goofiness?
Yuck.
All I can hope is that you can cast it next turn.
Oh yeah, I can.
That's a pretty good method to use.
Yeah, that's out of the staff. So
Yeah, that's pretty
bonus,
fucking
though.
amazing. I like that. Bonus. Yeah, sword to go smashy smash.
The sword is going in, and
Hacky heck.
yeah, should I forget where the button is?
Ooh,
Okay, that hits.
nice.
9 force.
9 force damage. Okay. Your blade cuts into it and it quivers.
And
It jiggles
I'm trying
and
to-
it jangles.
Don't have any really goofy things right now, so. Yeah, because unfortunately I can't distance spell something out of the staff, or I wouldn't have had to run up. And since I've already noticed this thing doesn't seem to have a problem with reaching, I ain't moving. So, that is the end of my turn.
Right now, being in range of the paladin seems like the best idea.
Okay, Mr. Blazebreaker.
Okay. I'm casting Flame Shield on myself.
Okay, yeah. I like it.
Oh my god, another
And I'm
non-concentration
specifying it's
spell, you
fire.
bastard!
Attack takes. Okay. And what was that second sentence?
I'm specifying it as fire, not cold.
Okay.
Nice.
And
Good
that
plan.
is it, because nothing can take a bonus action.
Okay. Right. Mr. Ancient Black Dragon. Right. Let me read Wall of Force again. I just want to make sure I can do stuff. Or I can't do stuff. Uh-huh. Okay.
You can probably teleport out of it. It's just I'm
That's
blocking him from the ethereal plane.
Okay. Yep. You can hear him starting to do that again.
I'm gonna look over at him and be like, really? Again?
Let's go. Feliz Triunfante.
Well, fake goose glass is gonna try and counterspell with a regular counterspell, so I might have to roll a dice
Okay,
if any of it's higher.
Yes, it's a DC 7, not a DC, yeah, level 7 spell slot.
Okay, so the DC is 10 plus the spell's level, and I have to do a caster check. Is that right?
Yeah.
Alright, so for caster check, I do D20 plus my caster level plus my modifier. Is that right? Or no, wait, no, that's not right.
Plus your caster level,
No,
that
it's
doesn't sound right.
plus my caster thing, right? My 5.
Your
stat.
My
Yes.
stat. Do I get my proficiency bonus?
I believe so.
No, it's just ability check. So.
Oh, yes, and no.
Okay, well this would be an ability check, so I'm at disadvantage on it. So let me
Okay.
get that going there. So fake Eliza is disadvantaged right now. How do I change this so it rolls disadvantage?
I'll just take the lower roll, don't worry.
Alright, I'll just, yeah. Alright, so,
might set
it's
to
an
query,
intelligence
'cause
check,
I'm
I
like
believe, for
similar.
me.
Okay,
So,
unfortunately.
Yeah. He slips through my
Misses.
grasp. Yeah, I
And
try to
you
stop
see
him.
Does counterspell require line of sight?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause you have
Target
to
is
be
a
able-
creature
you
in the
have
process
these-
of
When you
start-
see a creature within 60 feet of you casting a spell.
Yeah.
Right. So he ripples and vanishes.
You hear curse words, and I literally say curse words.
The
Then a
bongles.
moment later, the second
Psych.
one, it's farther away.
All right. Well, I'm letting that go because I know he teleported, and then she's immediately going to waste her time trying to mental fucking prison the big bad monster.
Okay. It will try to make a save. It will probably fail. As if it.
And then she's gonna
Go on,
run
you
to the
gotta
back
roll.
of the room because she's scared.
All right.
It
It
failed.
fails, so it will have to choose to succeed. This is the last time it can.
Yes.
Yes.
And it will take the 25 regardless.
Yes.
So. Still, I don't know if it takes full psychic, but I'm hitting it with it.
It does seem to quiver horribly when you do that.
Alright, so I will, but my concentration is down on that character because the concentration doesn't maintain if it breaks. So, I'm moving there. She needs to roll to see if she can break out of frightened, which that is a wisdom saving throw, right?
Yes.
And I should actually roll my wisdom saving throw. I've been rolling wisdom checks, so that's probably bad. I still fail, so yeah, done.
Well, you may have. They may be identical for you.
No, it's better.
You're actually proficiency with wisdom.
Yeah, I'm actually proficient with wisdom.
She's a mage. She gets that.
Yeah, it's a difference between a
know
one.
what
It's
wizard
a
has.
difference between the 1 and the 7 there for me.
Mhm.
All right, well that's my turn's over.
I get,
Its turn.
I get charisma and con,
Right.
so.
I can't
well,
move any farther back out of where I am, so I'm just stuck back there.
It screams again. However, if you are basically under the effect or you've saved against it, it doesn't do anything because you become immune to it. So you're all fine. And then it is going to once again lash out wildly. So dividing its attacks first to Blazebreaker. 18.
That's
Pretty
enough.
sure that doesn't hit. Oh god. Okay, Dragon once again has to make a
Save.
check.
Dragon goes
It has
big.
advantage.
Advantage. Good luck.
Yeah, advantage. I like that. DC. Yep, her dex is
She's
better.
gonna wish she was a dragon right now.
Hey, she makes it.
Yay!
But she still takes the
Thank
damage.
God for Blazebreaker being there to embolden her.
Alright, 28. That's 7. Yeah. Right, she's okay. She's starting to look very hurt. She's cut up. And then the last attack at Heideggen. 16.
Misses.
Hooray! Okay. So you easily dodge it. And then this screeching thing is going to start to move. Now, it starts to move in this direction. You'll get opportunity attacks, of course.
Do I want to let it even move?
That's why I've stopped, just in case you got something.
Well,
So I have
we're-
a reaction where I can do it. It has a reaction. I can cast a spell.
yeah, same here.
So doing that,
Okay. What save is
only-
that? Strength. Okay.
Target creature.
Right. It fails.
okay, it comes on back.
Right. Whoop.
And I'm getting one, but I'm trying to figure out what spell I'm going to cast.
I will tell you technically, if you do something that also does that, Kronos wouldn't have gotten his.
I don't
Yeah.
have the ability to do
Yeah.
that. We'll you see we'll test the waters because nobody's tried to do this. Pretty sure it's not gonna work, but it's the most damaging spell I have. 20
Okay.
con save.
20 con save.
Poison spray.
Do
Just
con. Is it? It takes that.
okay. So it takes
and in fact,
23 poison.
It seems to like shudder and owie.
Got a bow.
Right. And Ferrophanax is going to. Oh, actually, Ferrophanax doesn't need to. That poison spray seems to do way more than you'd expect, and it ripples, and suddenly its form collapses into this horrible, murky goop at all of your feet.
Not mine. I'm way back.
Yes.
Dead?
Yes, dead.
Are we out of
Yeah.
rounds?
You are out of rounds.
The dragon looks pretty hurt.
Yes, she is missing 88 out of 200 health.
It's not over. He teleported away. I tried to stop him.
Then we just gotta find him.
I don't know how many spells of each level I have. What level?
I'm spread
shit.
thin between right now.
Wow. It's actually not horrible. I can't do a whole lot
It's
to her,
21.
but
That's
she
not bad.
gains 21 hit points back.
Yeah.
So use, which is probably really confusing to the wizard,
Okay.
watching an arcane spellcaster heal someone directly.
You heal Ferrophanax up a bit.
Where would he go?
Oh, actually, give me a a perception check, please, Sam. The one that was up in the room with him.
Oh, other.
Yeah.
Other character sheet. Why does it have to matter? I hate that. I hate that this matters.
I'm making you do this.
I know.
Congratulations
Oh.
on
Ah,
Ah,
Sam, this would reveal the location. Do you want to re-roll that?
I would like to re-roll that.
Okay.
I'm using my thing.
The
It's-
inspiration.
You sure it's not an investigate?
No, it's actually, unfortunately, it's a perception.
Ah, I hate
Wow.
perception
Oh my
rolls.
God.
Wow, good deal.
Can I give up my inspiration so she can reroll?
Sure,
that?
if you're very desperate for this, go for it. In fact, do you want to just take that 16?
I would have liked
DM's
to,
being very nice and saying,
I
"Here,
would
that's
like
a-
to take that 16 if it's good enough, please.
Okay. So, like I said, this wasn't a standard teleport spell.
Mhm.
You not only did it ripple around him, you could sort of see it was like a portal shaping around him, and you could catch glimpses through it.
Uh-huh.
It looks very much like a council chambers with very, very fancy Noran heraldry and such. You're guessing in the capital.
City. I think he went to the capital city. What? Why did he go to the capital city? I don't know, but the portal he went through had like all the heraldry and stuff like that in it. Wow. He made a portal inside the force field? Yeah, he made a portal inside the force field. Guys, we should go do something about this. Can we call out? Does anybody have a radio?
That means it's time we continue the run.
Yeah, unfortunately, your radio. If anyone checks the radios, it's still that.
Radios are not working.
We ride.
And I'm running.
Right.
We head to the capital.
Wait.
We can meet up with high people.
Wait. Ferrophanax says, still clutching her side. The pillars. We gotta try and do something to these.
What?
I don't know.
The mages at the other sites couldn't do anything to the Ferrophanax.
We need to know what he's doing. We need to know what these are for.
Fine. What kind of a check can I do, Ellie? Investigate? Arcana?
You can try and do an Arcana check at disadvantage.
Alright, take the lower of the two. 16.
Okay, 16.
Religion.
Fake
or
Eliza can
anything.
do the same?
Fake Eliza can do the same. 12.
Both
Oh,
Arcana and
Religion? Yes, religion would work as well.
The same roll. Disadvantage
Still
also.
disadvantage. Yep.
Ah!
nice.
Not enough.
At least the disadvantage didn't matter.
Yeah.
It's not enough, I'm afraid. She's also looking this over. And then she's going to grit her teeth. And she's going to look at us glass and say, we have to know what this means.
You want that?
Don't think we have a choice, dear. Watch out for the boy.
No, not you!
And she's going to cast Comprehend Languages.
No. Actually, wait, can I counterspell? Let me look.
You can?
I can only dispel. I can't counter.
Nah. That's
What
your actual...
have you casted in that?
I'm casting it third. I don't know if she can cast
Comprehend Languages is like pretty fucking low, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like
So-
1 or 2.
so-
Yeah,
I just
that's
listed
not one that you
immediately.
can boost.
No.
Yeah. It gets dispelled, and she's going to look back at you.
No.
Don't-
Let one of us do it. And I'm going to look.
Are you sure you can take it? Don't,
Yeah, I have a
I don't-
spare.
Listen, he did it carefully, methodically. You've heard the rumors and such, right?
I know. And I'm going to hand her my staff of power. And I'm going to look
Which
back.
Usglass is doing this?
Originalist class has to be made sure it's done right.
I want you to argue with yourself because you're
No,
both being
I should be
selfless here.
doing it. I should be doing. I'm the fake. It doesn't really matter at this point.
There's
We've
multiples,
differentiated.
right?
Huh?
There's multiples, right?
Yeah, there are two.
I'm
of
gonna
her.
try. No, the columns.
Yes, there are 4 of them.
I'm gonna reduce one of the columns.
Your
Try.
Your
See if it
spell hits it,
Mhm.
and the column seems to flash a color that doesn't exist, and sears your eyes briefly before returning to normal. And
There is a bit of an argument there, and threats of counterspell, and and then the original class is going to hold her hand up, as if tut tut, and then says, "I wish to know the purpose of these pillars."
Okay.
Whichever one ends up
Okay.
deciding is
Okay.
getting that cast on them.
Before Allie rectifies this, because this is a big thing, Wolf is going to go as high as he can during all that sort of conversation and keep checking on the radio until it gets clear. Does it ever?
Oh, your world has his first astronaut, Allie.
Yeah. Well, if you give me a second, I have to type to Sam.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. The copy doesn't appreciate this, by the way.
The worst part is, of course, if this, depending on what happens here, we get the lesser one because it can't get spells back.
So that's the downside.
Yep. Some Miraculums have half the hit points of the caster, and they do not get spells back at rests.
Yeah, they're a finite thing.
Mm-hmm.
On the plus side, I can cast the protection at will, because that one doesn't take charges.
Yep.
I'm not pushing for anything, but does anybody need to get up relatively early in the morning today?
Yeah, I was going to address that in a moment.
I've got work.
Like 4.5 hours or
Gonna
something?
gonna wrap up this scene, and then I'm going to give you people an option. Either I can give you an epilogue of rushed actions and character choices, or we can save the very ending for another time.
I'm up for saving for it.
Yeah,
I'm
save
down
it
for
for another
saving.
time.
Yeah.
Use it as an interlude.
Oh, but then we're gonna lose our whole thing of what we were doing.
We
Take
could,
notes.
we could always finish it next week.
I wanted to play a regular game.
Well, I mean, depending how close we are, we could do both.
I guess.
I don't know if
I could probably fit it in as an hour part.
Mhm.
That can work.
I can either just take an hour from the session, or we can start an hour earlier if people are able to.
I'm down for an
Um,
hour earlier.
I'm free because all that's gonna happen is Sam. If I'm asleep, Sam will drag me out of bed.
Yeah.
And I'm on vacation.
All right.
Hour earlier works for me.
Yeah, looks like it'll work.
Sorry, Allie. I made you do this.
That should be happening.
Yeah, sorry to bring up the time and everything, but
It's fine. I've already fallen asleep once during Game of Fortune.
Okay, there you go, Sam.
I thought I heard
I need
that.
to look up
That
what
was before the combat
insanities
started.
are.
Suddenly, I have no idea what's going.
As in, choose one, Sam. Make one up for yourself. This is breaking this one.
There's also a question.
Yes?
I have this spell. I don't know if that'll fix stuff afterwards or not.
I'm afraid not.
Not
Okay.
for this, probably.
Will her ninth level spell fix
Would you
it?
consider this like a long-term madness?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Alright, her eyes are gonna suddenly cloud over. Her golden eyes turn white as she is struck blind. Because that's one of
Okay.
the madnesses you can get. So, she is basically going to be struck blind and kind of see otherworldly horrors. Okay. She sinks to her knees, grabbing her head, looking up, her eyes turning white as she screams. It dreams! It dreams everything! Everything that it dreams! It's fracturing. Everything ends when it begins. It's begun. The creatures are coming. They're corrupting it.
Does that mean we gotta fight another one of those?
It feeds on life. But it. Life
And what he was
fuels it.
whispering strikes you. Death to spark it. Life to fuel it.
Life. Life right here, right now. Everything. It breathes and grows. Everything here. And I'm grasping around blindly, trying to pull on people, trying desperately to let them know.
Ferrophonex will sort of very gently hold you and try and lift you.
Mhm.
What do we do, dear? How do we stop it?
Everything has to die.
Okay. Everyone make an insight on that, including other Glass, who gets advantage because she knows herself well.
I don't like that.
Captain Wolf's up in the air trying to find signal.
I don't know shit right now. I'm bewildered by the fact that myself is going crazy.
Reza, she's speaking truth. You know truth well. You're a paladin, you know. You know, define truth, you know. The truth of man.
Ritter's kind of jovialness drops. He just kind of looks at, well, if everything needs to die, you start with it. And just calmly puts his sword and his shield back away and starts walking off.
Okay. Oh, I need to roll for the dragon as well.
Freak out.
Prime Oostglass is going to start reaching for her sharp implement. And
the dragon is holding you very, very firmly. Your arms.
yeah. She's basically having to keep her from her weapons right now.
Mm-hmm. Captain.
Yes.
And how are you going to take her weapons, please?
Captain Wolf will zip back down and into the church.
Secondary Oostglass is taking the staff, of course.
Yeah. And she's the dragon's giving the secondary Oostglass a very sad look.
She's just gonna nod back.
Oh, dear. Is it done? Is this all we can do, or is there? Can we stop him before he does anything else? What? Come on, think, darling. Think. There's got to be something.
Her merging. It cannot be broken. The fuel. You must cut off the fuel. One more ritual is all he needs.
Well, perhaps we can stop that one.
I hate to be the one to break this moment, but he's got a head start on us, and if we're going to stop this thing, we should get going now.
Yes, of course.
There's time to mourn after we're done.
Any of you able to teleport, gate, anything?
Others glasses shrugs. She didn't have that prepared that day.
I could roundabout us.
Roundabout?
We'd have to make a little side trip, but I could get us there.
Faster than traveling? The capital is days out.
Yes, but we'd have to be very careful because I don't think anyone wants to stay in a different plane.
Okay, a plane hop. Marvelous. Let's do that. Right.
Also,
And,
the minute we get... We'll actually quickly add in. The minute we get the radios working, we should contact my men. They're already on the way to the capital.
right.
Can't get through to anything. There's no signal.
We might
That's
not
why I said, and it works again.
be able to get a message until we get to the
Wolf,
capital.
Garibaldi, get your men going. Tell them to fly until they get radio signal or until they reach the capital.
Copy.
Come with us.
We'll be there faster.
There's this sharp whistle from Garibaldi. Lieutenant!
Tell them to relay Lassana Inferno must be put down.
I'm dragging my lieutenant over and just grabbing him by the collar. Right. You're taking the entire team. You are flying as hard and as fast as you can go. Do you understand me?
Tell them to relay to the general. Airships, elder men, everything. Forget defense, forget strategical advance. Just get there.
You go, you tell you get signal. You tell the general the dragon is to be terminated on sight. Everything we have has to be brought to bear. He must not do another ritual. Repeat that.
He gives you an eyebrow look, but repeats it word for word very rapidly.
And I shove him off. Go! Take everyone, stop for nothing.
Okay. The platoons depart at high speed. And the dragon looks at you, Elegant. Right. To another plane.
I'm guessing City of Brass is still another thing in your world too.
Or an equivalent, yes.
Yep. So he's gonna be using 2 actions.
Okay,
One
and
to get
we
us
will
there,
end it
one
there
to-
as you all pop back into the real plane.
Are they at least
And-
sending crazy Eliza back?
I
Are
didn't
they-
think to.
Or are they
Everybody.
taking her along?
I think she's being brought along.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Probably brought along.
Alright, the blind mage is gonna be a fun time.
You're not escaping role playing 2 characters that easy.
I don't know.
I mean,
The
blind
best
could
thing
still
is
theoretically help out.
technically, if nothing else, someone was really, really productive and has silk rope.
Uh-huh.
Binder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's where we'll end. Sorry we didn't get it wrapped up today.
Okay.
Even with me trying to rush it. Apparently, a little longer than I thought.
Yeah, it's been fun.
That was fun.
Yep, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've
we will find and time to do this, whether it's sometime during the week where everyone's free or whatever.
I've used 21 charges out of 50 on the wand on the
I
staff
haven't.
I have.
Mine got
Well,
reset.
no XP or anything for this game because we're not bothering tracking that. You have earned yourself some goodies for the main game that you shall discover in the crates of the bandit camp.
Yay.
Woo!
The main game.
I am down 4 spell slots. A 5, a 4,
I'm
5, a 4, 2, and a 1.
actually not too bad off. I'm down 2, a 4 and a 2. But
I'm all
part
right.
of it's because the staff, I'm able to use the staff in place of mine.
That's produced theoretically. Other than Shield of Faith, all the stuff I cast is still running.
Yeah, I technically all of mine are except for the weapons kind of in another
Actually, Mirror Venom.
really far away from me because pretty sure I can't teleport that. Okay, well, I'm gonna go bed because I gotta work.
Good night.
Thank you, Ellie, for a good game.
Thank
I'm
you,
also gonna head to bed because I
Right.
gotta check in here in 6.5 hours. So,
Yeah.
Thanks for game.
bye.
Bye bye.